Welcome to another DragonLance Saga gaming episode. Today is the 4th session of our Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition DragonLance Shadow of the Dragon Queen live play. It's technically the 4th, though we've had like 80 individual sessions for it. It is Braka Deep Cult the 4th. My name is Adam, and I would like to take a moment and just thank the members of this channel and invite you to consider becoming a member by visiting the link in the description below. You can always check out DragonLance Gaming Materials by using the affiliate link, and that just helps the channel a little bit, you know, gets my beak wet, just a tad. So let's start this game today by not only introducing all of our players, we're missing one today, but we'll probably get him next time, but also doing a little bit of a game setup. So let's do a brief here. Bendix is a Knight of Solamnia. He is a Paladin, I believe actually, a Paladin of Paladine. Again, he's absent, but we're going to sort of, set up what he's doing during the course of this. Arjun, can you introduce your character for us, please?
Arjun is a human fighter. He's a mercenary, and yeah, he does mercenary things and he fights things.
Finn?
My character is a human ranger, prefers animals over people. And yeah.
And you now have a new pet and new companion, a boar.
Yes.
Floating in a boat with you, so that's something.
Is his name Pumbaa?
Oh.
I think you do. Ulrich.
My name's Derek. I'll be playing Ulrich. He is a half-elf druid, and he is seeking to rebalance during this horrible time of war.
And Galbrand.
You think you can sneak up on me? I'm far too alert for that. I'm Galabrand Liarin, and I'll be the human rogue of this adventure.
Fantastic. So last time on Shadow of the Dragon Queen, the heroes tracked Gregonis' meeting place, which revealed a large military force in the northwest of Vogler. Upon returning to report the finding to Mayor Raven, the force was confirmed by Cudgel Ironsmile, returning from her ironclad regiment's encampment. As they were planning their next move, a messenger from the Dragon Army presented an order from Belefeon, the voice of Takhisis, demanding that the village quarter the soldiers that night. The soldiers distrusted this demand and distracted the messenger so Cudgel could collect her remaining loyal troops and build rafts and flotillas to evacuate the people of Vogler, rather than allowing the Dragon Army to occupy the town. The Dragon Army ended up marching on Vogler, with Becklin and Cudgel leading her forces against them, and the heroes evacuated as many of the villagers as they could. They all ended up drifting down the Vingard River toward Kalaman, watching the village burn. And that's where we're going to pick it up today. For all of you joining us in chat, thank you so much for joining us live. We're not going to have a lot of back and forth with the chat, but I do appreciate it. Thank you, Chris, for that donation of the Canons for Warriors. I appreciate it. Okay, let's set up this view here, because not only are you seeing the entire village of Vogler fading into the distance as the sun is rising up from the east, and you're sort of looking back on Vogler from the west, you get this nice glow of literally the city burning. There are multiple different groups of flotillas, and throughout the course of the evacuation of Vogler, there were ships that had been sent off before you guys ever even got to yours, because clearly you were the last ones to get in the boat. Yeah. If you remember, it was Jaya Valdruz at the very, very tail end who jumped into the flotilla that you were all leaving on, holding Becklin Uthviharin's helmet. She had given it to him to verify that what he's saying is true, and he handed it over to Derek, who was devastated by the fact that they don't know what happened to Becklin. She could have fallen in battle. She could have been captured. The fact that it's unknown is actually a little bit worse than knowing if she had died or not. But as you're floating down, everyone's finally starting to get their sort of wits about them. The adrenaline is coming down from flooding your heads. You're finally noticing the people around you. And actually, Finn is just sitting there with this rather large boar that no one really noticed in the chaos of evacuation as they were sort of getting on to the flotilla. But now it's very evident there's a wild animal just sitting here, sort of being calmed and tamed by Finn himself. And, how is everyone reacting to not just that realization, but also being on the raft after what just happened?
Galibrand, in a state of shock, is not letting his guard down at all. He's looking between everyone he can see, a little suspicious, not knowing if there's anyone who is affiliated with the people who just attacked. And he's trying to keep his eye on anyone noteworthy, anyone with weapons, and anyone who looks like they are about to have a panic attack.
Okay. Anyone else?
I see that you have new companionship, Finn. Who is this handsome beast?
I first found him in the woods, being attacked by 2 other distorters. People abandoning their allegiance, so to speak. So I stepped in and hastily put a stop to it. And it ran off. About roughly an hour or 2 later, when the battle started, came sprinting out of the forest, ran down the hill, trying to look panicked, tried getting away from 3 figures I couldn't see the faces of, but gave me a very unsettling feeling. Saved it from another situation, and it just stuck with me.
Huh. Well, I could tell. I looked down to the boar. You have picked wisely a friend. And I just I stroked the boar's back of its head, seeing just trying to be friendly to it, see if it accepts my attention.
Can I get an animal handling roll?
Sure, animal handling. 24.
Yeah. The boar seems to be very amenable to you petting it, and just the way that you're communicating with it, though it's not, verbally communicating back, it does seem to be completely aware and receptive to everything that you're saying.
And then I bow my head to Finn and say, I see that Cheslov is blessing you. Continue on this path. And I smile. But then I look around to see all the devastation that we have, and then I start to frown again.
So, Finn, don't forget that, so Darrett is in this with you, in this little flotilla, and you had collected that box. And I don't know if it's a great time right now to be doing it, but, as you guys are slowly drifting down the Vanguard off of its own current, you do remember after you're seeing Darrett that you have that box in your backpack. It's a rather large box that you stuffed in there for him.
I'll hand it to him.
Okay, so he looks over. He's like, "What's this? I don't understand."
Just got wind of someone. I don't quite remember who, but someone telling someone else to bring this box to you. Saw the box.
Speaks up. He's like, "Oh, I've completely forgot. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you got that. Yeah, Becklin Uthviharin had asked me to pick that up and get it for you. Thank you, Finn, for grabbing that. I totally slipped my mind, just in the chaos of battle."
All good, all good.
So Darrett is looking at it. He's like, "This is from Becklin? I don't..." So as you guys are drifting and this is all happening, can I get, if anyone's going to help row or steer or control the direction of this raft? You do see their villagers who are very adept at it themselves, sort of like, paddling their way and trying to steer it along this river, trying to get to the other side and get a little bit closer to Kalaman. And in the far distance in the east, you do notice that there are other ships that are getting closer to actually getting to the shoreline. But it would help if there's other people helping paddle and stuff, because this is a rather large collection of, floating wood and ships all tied together. So is anyone able to help with a sort of athletics check and rowing?
Sure. I will help out. Yeah, I only have a +1. So let's see how I get.
Okay.
A natural 20.
Oh!
21.
Nice. Arjun, Very nice. Okay, so that's definitely good enough. Between the two of you, you are doing a great job of maintaining direction and keeping it going in a very direct route following the other boats. So going back to Darrett, he grabs this box, and again, the sun is coming up and it's sort of shining in his face, and you just see tears streaming down the edges of his eyes. I mean, the fact is this has been his mentor, and with the thought that she might be dead or captured, that's devastating in and of itself. But now he has this sort of final gift. She must have known, as he's muttering to himself, she must have known that she wasn't going to be coming back. And he opens it up, and inside is a complete set of Solamnic plate armor that is ornately crafted and seemingly sized just for him. And tears just start going down his face, and he starts sort of convulsing a little bit, trying his best to hold in the flood of emotions that are hitting him. And he just closes it, and he's like, I hope I can live up to this gift. I hope I'll wear it in her honor every day. Thank you. And he sort of leans over and gives you a big hug, Finn.
I returned the hug.
So the walled city of Kalaman is rising in the distance, spreading across the southern shore of a wide bay. Ships sailed to and from the city's walled harbor, their courses lit by a pair of towering beacons. On the shore ahead, where the Vingard River meets Kalaman Bay, dozens of survivors from Vogler have pulled their mismatched boats ashore, and many have begun making temporary camps. So as you guys are steering in, can I get one more athletics check? I only need one from one person, please, just to make sure that you don't have any issues coming up to the shoreline. Is that the 21?
I'll let Arjun.
Oh.
I'll let Arjun roll. He's probably got a better.
You said athletics?
Oh, that's a 12.
12. You'd like to think it was better, wouldn't you? So, that is enough to sort of steady the ship out and make sure it gets close to the shore. Then people are jumping in the water and sort of pulling the raft to shore, making sure that it's all stable and it's not going to like get pulled back out by any tide shift or anything. And as you get onto shore, you actually already see people that have arrived ahead of you, and they're, sort of pulling their rafts up and making makeshift fires and sort of doing every little bit of sort of normalization and getting out of the river as possible. The river's freezing, to be quite honest. And so you see people starting to make fires and stuff. You end up seeing two rowdy youths sort of screaming at this young man who is sort of almost trying to fight them off, it seems, just from the way that you're hearing about this. And it's a pretty big commotion. Everyone else seems to be involved in their own little worlds, doing their best to survive and stuff. Do any of you react to this at all?
Well, we need to secure some. Well, first off, we need fire, we need food, we need water, we need shelter for all these people. We need to start securing that, which means we need to go to the docking authority, or
well, you guys are not
coming into it just an embankment.
Yeah, let me make that clear. So you guys are not actually at Kalaman right now. You're about 2 miles out of Kalaman. This is the safest part. If you guys tried to go into the actual bay, you would have been washed out to the ocean more likely than having actually been pulled into the actual docks at all. So this is right before you even get to the bay itself on the shoreline. Again, about 2 miles out, but most people are so exhausted and terrified and just, beaten up by what they just went through that they don't really want to go anywhere at this point. You do see Mayor Raven off in the distance of this sort of rowdy couple of kids, seemingly walking from little space to space, little camping space, checking in on people.
Can I try to disrupt the two children or the two rowdy youths who are causing problems?
Yeah. So as you approach... Oh, I'm hearing someone's background noise, so it's making me think you're trying to talk. As you start to approach, you notice that it's actually a straight-up fight more than anything else. One boy is like grabbing onto what appears to be like a wicker basket filled with something, a sort of a container, like a leather satchel placed on top of it to help keep whatever's in it inside. But he's like yanking on it, and you see this young woman sort of grabbing him, like, don't let them take it. That's all I have. Don't let them take it. And he's like fighting them off, and these two boys are just like trying to kick and punch this kid to rip it out of his hands, but he's keeping a really firm grip on it.
Stop! What are you doing? Why are we fighting amongst ourselves? Stop!
They look back at you like, it's every man for himself! Mind your business, old man! You're clearly not old, but you're definitely older than these little kids. So they're just, just
is there
telling you
any
to bugger off.
Is there any flammable material nearby?
Well, you're on a shoreline more than anything else at this point. So you'd have to go further up on the shore to get any dry sort of like wood or...
Well, no, I'm not trying to find wood, but I'm trying to say, like, is there something I could ignite with my druid craft? I'm like going, is the baskets they're fighting over? Could I ignite the basket, trying to separate them?
Yeah. Yeah, you could.
Okay, do I need to roll for that, or does it just go through? Let's see, my spells.
No, you can just do it. It's fine.
Okay, so I just ignite the fires and say, the fires of war are upon us. We must work together. It's not every man for himself.
They
it's all of
immediately
us versus the evil
scream
gods.
and jump back. They're like, oh my gosh, it's on fire! You're a witch! You're a witch! It's a witch! You see the boys like run off, and the girl like jumps over, and she's like grabbing it, turning it upside down. She's like, this is all I have in the world! This is all I have left for my home!
And I extinguish it. Extinguish the fire.
It goes away, and she's freaking out, and he's like, what? Did you do that? Does it have a verbal or a semantic component that they can clearly know that you did that?
See. Let me check. I don't know. Let's see. It says
yeah, verbal and semantic.
Whispering to the spirits of nature. Yeah.
So he looks up. He's like, why did you set it on fire? I could have fought them off with enough time. And nothing is actually damaged on the inside. He's just processing it.
I apologize. I just wanted to make sure there was no bloodshed. I apologize. I just wanted to stop the situation.
He gets up and puts his hand. He's like, thank you for intervening. I'm afraid that would have gone a little more violently if you hadn't. So, Arjun, as you're sort of making this mental list of, okay, we need to get fire, we need to get shelter, we need to get food, we need to get these people situated for the night or for the remainder of the morning, you actually hear an elderly man that's actually in the water, in the river still, sort of being dragged down, and he's sort of crying out, not to anyone directly, but just in general, just screaming, oh, my foot, as he started like getting pulled under by the water.
Go get him. I'm gonna go get him.
Can you get an athletics check, please?
Yep.
No whammy, no whammy. Oh, nice. So you jump in the water, you're waiting, sort of like leaping to get to him faster, and he starts going under a little bit. But as you come over, he's like reaching out, just trying to grab you. You pick him up and you bring him in, and he tells you, thank you so much, young man. I twisted my ankle jumping out of that damned raft, and I thought I was done for. I really do appreciate it. And he's sort of like leaning on you. He's like, do you know anyone that can help me with this?
We'll have to try and find someone. We need to get a splint for that.
Thank you so much. So anyone with a healer's kit, or if you just want to do a medicine check, you could probably help him out.
Arjun is not good at medicine. I mean, he would know enough to be like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, just sticking your finger. Does that hurt in the wound? This bone should go back in. Let me just push it back.
No, he would try to find someone who at least knows what they're doing.
Right.
Galabrand does have a little bit of medicine training.
I got a 5 medicine.
Well, we'll take him to one of those two.
Okay.
I hope you like crazy people.
Nice. Okay, so Galabrand, Ulrich was clearly involved with this sort of youthful scuffle. Galabrand, can I get a medicine check from you, please?
That's a dirty 20.
That'll do. So you splint him up, and he's very, very grateful. You see him sort of go back over to some other villagers that he knows now. And ultimately, as we're sitting here, we need some people to start lighting fires. Mayor Raven sees all of you. Darrett is off trying to help start a fire, and he's not really having any luck. Mayor Raven sees you. Oh, it's great. It's great to see you. Thank you so much for everything that you did back there. The travesty of Vogler. I don't know what to do other than, well, and she just leaps forward, and Finn, you're the first one she comes to. She just gives you a big hug. She's like, if it weren't for you, I really don't think any of us would have gotten out alive.
It's no sweat, man.
No sweat. I got this. Anytime you need a town saved, I got you. So, she's like, asks, is there any way that you could perhaps gather up all your friends? I'd like to have a conversation with everyone here and formulate some sort of plan. Finn?
Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties trying to log into... Not even log in, trying to access my character sheet.
I had problems with that too. I'm getting like a 403 forbidden from D&D Beyond.
I'm getting that on both my laptop and phone. There we
it
go.
Just came
Finally.
up for me. It just now started working.
Nice. We're just gonna start riffing here. So are you gonna go collect everyone up?
Yeah, I'm gonna go round everyone up.
Okay. So as long as everyone's amenable to meeting with Mayor Raven, she collects you all together and she asks you, I'm not sure who all got here before we did, but quite frankly, we need someone to go up on behalf of the village and walk up to Kalaman, meet with their leaders to try to get some sort of protection for us. We can't just sit out on the shore. The Dragon Army could be coming down the river as we speak. Did you see those war machines?
Yes, it did. Well, at least I caught a glimpse of them anyway.
They looked like dragons. I'm entirely sure they weren't, but we have to warn people about this. This is a new sort of battle contraption I've never seen before.
It would probably be best for you to tell them about the battle contraptions. Maybe one of us should just go in to ask for aid for the people.
She tells you, I wasn't really involved in the battle, as it were. I just saw it from the docks. You all had first-hand meeting with all of the foes that were the Dragon Army that was invading the town. I would feel much more comfortable taking care of the people here. That's what I've always been able to do. Becklin's been more of the strategic and military face of things. And you see Darrett walk up, and he actually put all of the Solamnic plate armor on, and with the rising sun glinting off of it, he almost appears like this holy creature coming, like this angel, descended from heaven to save everyone. He's like, I would be happy to go with any of these heroes and talk with the leaders of Kalaman on your behalf if you would like. She's like, yes, I think that would be a great idea. He looks over. Gentlemen, any of you would like to join us? You're more than welcome.
I'll go.
Yeah,
I'll
might
go.
as well.
I kind of saw the metal
I don't think we all
contraption
need to
firsthand
go, then.
and threw a barrel at its wheels.
Well, I think you would be a very good voice to be had then, as a direct witness and combatant of this technological monstrosity. Ultimately, it is going to be quite a ways, so we should probably head off as soon as possible so we can try to get some aid for these people.
Right. Arjun will look over at the refugees, pull out his crossbow, be like, who knows how to use this?
Oh, you see an older gentleman. You're like, I'm a hunter by trade. I could use it.
Take mine and keep these people safe. Here are my crossbow bolts.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And he takes it. He sort of pulls the string back, loads it, makes sure it's working properly. He's like, nods at you, very appreciative. And he's like, I'll defend them with my life.
Thank you. The wilderness is just a dangerous place right now. And with us gone, the people will have to depend on brave souls like yourself.
Indeed.
If all of us are going to be going, then maybe we don't all need to go. If you all want to go ahead and talk about what happened at Vogler, I can stay by, help with fires, and help people get settled.
Well, this is where Bendix speaks up. He's like, as much as I would like to be a face of the Vogler refugees, the fact is I feel more comfortable taking care of the people here, and I would very willingly stay and help people with fires and try to help protect them as much as possible if anything does rear its head.
I think we can rely on Bendix to handle the rest.
And Galibrand, I think your eyes and your skills would be useful, just in case we need to keep someone watching our back, if you wouldn't mind.
I won't be of much help over there. I'll just be standing around. I didn't even see any war machines, so I won't be able to tell anything new. I can be more useful over here, at least helping out.
Or watching our backs.
Do you not think you can watch your own back?
Yeah, if you want to stay, we don't need to belabor it. I mean, you can definitely stay if you'd like to. There's no reason to twist anyone's arms. Finn, you did notice that you have the highest passive perception, I believe, of the group. So you notice that 2 prominent village members are actually missing from everyone gathered here. Lord Baccarus and his son Baccarus the Younger.
I wonder who they pissed off.
All right. So you guys begin your trek?
Yep.
Yeah, but on the way out, can I, anytime I see someone having trouble lighting a fire, can I go and say a small blessing of saying, just love, please provide your light and warm these people so they may make it through the night, and cast another, it's a cantrip and it's an at will, so I can do it as many times as I want, and I can light or extinguish small campfires.
That's awesome.
As we're going out.
Yeah, absolutely. People are reacting in either shock or appreciation. Some of them in total distrust, and they're like kicking dirt at it. Like, I don't want your magic. We don't need any of that. We're good, normal people here. We don't want to be involved in gods and their schemes. Like, completely, like, out of left field. And you can chalk it up to just the stress of everything happening, or maybe their own inner bigotry, whatever it is. But not everyone is amenable to what you're doing.
That's fine.
But
I just will do it, and if they
majority
put it out, that's on them.
Yeah.
So
Most people are very, very grateful, and they thank you. So, again, the trek spans about 2 miles. Right now it's Darrett, Finn, Ulrich, and Arjun. Statues of titanic soldiers line Kalaman's mighty walls. These ancient stone knights stare into the distance, daring invaders to dash themselves against the defenses that have withstood even the cataclysm. A disorganized neighborhood of tents and ramshackle structures lines the road to the city's nearest gate, where soldiers in blue and yellow uniforms question all who enter. So just to be very clear about this, it's almost like a shanty town on the outside of this massive walled city. And you're passing through, and a lot of these buildings are completely vacant, but not all of them. And it almost looks like this sort of dystopian, future where people are doing their best with what they have. Meanwhile, they're literally at the walls of this mighty city. And as you approach, the guards sort of lower their halberds that are standing guard at the entrance. It is open. It's like, please state your business.
We're here on behalf of the people of Vogler who have recently had to flee their city due to invasion.
Well, that's interesting. We just had 2 gentlemen already enter about an hour and a half ago or so with the same intentions. They headed up to the council members' meeting, which is up in Castle Kalaman. It's that large structure there on the top. Feel free.
Very well,
they
thank you.
didn't happen to have light-colored hair, did they, and wear red clothing?
If I can be blunt, they were kind of assholes. But yes, they did one had, shorter, thinner, a little more weaselly looking with a high-pitched voice, and a very rotund
it's those 2.
gentleman with him. They were just kind of dicks, really, is what they were.
I would not recommend
these tags.
trusting a word they say.
I'm just a guard. I'm just making sure people are safe in the city. That's my job here. So
We appreciate it. Thank you.
good luck.
What?
So as you guys are moving into Kalaman, you're seeing this massive city that is absolutely beautiful. Here, let's move over to the actual map.
Real quick, how many people total did we manage to get out of Vogler?
Oh, roughly around 200. There's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's good.
That's
I mean, it's
that's
about half. There's
50%.
That's still like we're basically doing the big ask here from the council chambers to, hey, We need
Yeah.
food, shelter for 200 people. Like,
It's not a small ask at all. As just so you guys see here, this is the outside shanty town in which you pass through. You pass through this gate, and it's impossible not to notice this imposing castle in the center of Kalaman itself. So you're sort of walking it, and you see this town is actually really taken care of. There's not a bunch of trash on the street. People are paying attention to clearly caring about where they live, though not everyone seems to be completely trusting, looking, or in their reactions to you. Most people ignore you and go about their lives. Again, it is very early, so most people out at this hour are going to their businesses or going to get out to their ships to go fishing or something like that. But in either case, you do start to walk up this massive incline leading up to the castle itself, and even if the imposing castle Kalaman didn't stand atop 100-foot cliffs, it would still tower over every other structure in the city. The path to it rises up the cliffside, overlooked by giant statues, matching those that line the city's walls. And as the path ends, guards stand before the open gate. And they sort of again, stop you with their weapons. What business do you have at Castle Kalaman?
we are here to meet with the council, if at all possible. We were sent by the refugees from Vogler, who had to abandon their town due to invasion.
Oh, you as well. Yes, they're already meeting with the city council members and leaders. Please follow me. And one of the guards breaks off and starts walking you through the courtyard area of this massive castle structure here. So as he's leading you forward, you see a familiar face come trouncing up. You this Weasley-figured Takhisis the Younger again. As you cross Castle Kalaman's paved courtyard, a familiar figure intercepts you with an arrogant smile. Takhisis the Younger. My father has matters well in hand. We'll be sure to send for you and the rest of the fish folk once we've determined what's best for you all. You can go ahead and turn around and leave. Guard, they don't need to be here. He sort of looks at you and looks at him like, what do you want me to do here?
Lord Takhisis, so good that you made it out of Vogler safely. I believe the mayor asked us to come and intercede for her behalf. I believe that your father might have all the best intentions, but we will represent the mayor's as she directed.
I'm sure you understand, but you're not leader type, and while my father is more than capable of handling everything, he's already been accepted into the meeting. So to interrupt now would be not only rude, but unseeming, seeing as you still have blood on your clothes. He sort of...
Hence why our argument would hold all the more weight. Besides, I'm a mercenary. I'm not hired by you or your father. I'm hired by the mayor.
He's like, well, I simply cannot permit you to pass. And the guard's like, it's not your choice, son. If they want to go forward, I'm fine leading them forward. Do you guys still want to meet with the leadership? He's like, I demand to see your superior. This is an outrage. We've already got it taken. I'm going to get you fired. You want to work in the digging up slop for the rest of your days?
I would not give this man much heed. He has little to no power here in Kalaman. He had power in Vogler. Keyword being had.
He's like, I have power here too. We're in it. The guard's like, all right, come on, let's just go around this kid. He's like, look, young man, Takhisis is my name, and you will respect it. He's like, all right, Takhisis, whatever. They're going through, whether you like it or not. He's like, never! He sort of stomps off as you guys are walking toward the actual the door that the guard is leading to you. He's like, you'll get yours! I swear it! And you'll know it's from me! He's sort of threatening.
Yeah, he's going to be a problem soon.
For sure. He's a dick. All right, so you arrive at this massive sort of double wooden door, and the guard opens up one side and he walks in. I'm terribly sorry, everyone. Please, I beg your forgiveness. We have leadership from Vogler here on behalf of, I believe they said it was on behalf of the mayor, to talk to you about the invasion. And you say, "Oh, it's very good. Please, I'm getting my accents mixed up. Let him in. We'd like to have a conversation with him." And so as you walk in, you see this large table. 8 serious-looking people sit around a broad table in the middle of a spacious hall. At the table's head, a tall man with plaited blonde hair and a velvet vest with blue and gold stands to greet you. "Welcome, guests. I'm Governor Kalaman. Your leader has briefed us on the situation at Vogler and his bold defense and his eagerness to strike back against these invaders." As Mia says this, he nods to a man near him, Lord Baccharis, who glares at your intrusion. "Please, let me introduce you to the meeting here. To everyone, this is Marshal Nestra Vendry." And you see this rather stern-looking woman stand up and just nod her head and sit back down. "This is Faz Julton. He's the Cartographer's Guild leader." And this old man sort of gets up, lets out some gas. It's nice. Yeah. He sits back down.
Oh, what was his name again? The cartographer? What's his name?
Faz Julton. Vol Grease. Shut up, Siri. This is Vol Grease. He's the Dockhands Guildmaster. And you see this dwarf sort of stand up, folding his beard, looking around at everyone that just entered. You guys are just the picture of after battle. You know, I mean, it's just totally disheveled. He's like, "Looks like you've all seen some battle. I'm jealous." Sits back down. "And this is Payne Woover. He's the Fisherman's Guildmaster." This human man stands up, a sailor. "It's nice to meet y'all. Crispin Quinn, he's the Mason's Guild leader." You see this dwarf also looks like a neater dwarf, like the other. "Good to see you all." Sits back down. "And last but not least, Henry Silo, the Shipwrights Guild." He stands up. "And it is my honor to meet you." And he sits back down. "Always got to put on airs, this one. Can we please get back to the meeting?" And Lord Backer speaks up. "What are you all doing here? Certainly you have better things to do."
The mayor sent us on behalf of the refugees from Vogler and requested that we meet with the council in order to see what aid and succor that could be provided to the refugees. They're just 2 miles away from the gates of the city. They have very little in the way of provisions or shelter at the moment. And after having to flee their city from invasion, they would like to know if there is any sort of aid that could be rendered unto them in these dark times.
Well, this is a striking contrast to what we've been hearing here from Lord Baccharis. Tell us, the governor continues, are your people preparing for battle still?
Preparing for battle?
The battle was already lost.
Well, I was under the impression that you are all getting ready to go retake your home.
With what soldiers?
There's absolutely no one to fight. The only people remaining are just regular commoners. Maybe like roughly 10, 20 hunters at best.
That's more than enough. I think we could take back our homes, unless you're too cowardly to attempt it.
My lord, the Ironclad Regiment was annihilated in that battle.
That just shows how inept they were to begin with. And if I'm recalling correctly, they did turn on Vogler in the first place.
Only a portion of them. The rest that stayed loyal, they died to make sure that the people of Vogler had enough time to flee.
If they are so cowardly, why didn't you tuck tail and run to the boats?
The people of Vogler that had to flee, all of them are commoners, fishermen, masons, shipbuilders. They're all of common descent, of common means. They have no skills in terms of retaking the city of their home. This is frank. You would be asking 200 refugees to fight against a military force of 1,000. 1,000, which, by the way, would have every defensive advantage. That retaking Vogler right now is simply out of the question. I was there. In fact, all of us were.
Governor Miet frowns. I'm sorry, did you have something?
The situation for retaking Vogler would is frankly a much further concern than making sure that the refugees do not starve or freeze to death.
Well, this is all dire news. My heart goes out to you and your friends and families. I hope you can understand our reticence to welcoming you and your 200 refugees all through our city gates. These aren't normal times. Marshal? The governor gestures to the stern woman wearing armor embellished with blue and gold colors of Kalaman. She nods and begins. Again, it is a pleasure to meet all of you. I am Marshal Vendry, commander of Kalaman's military forces. I'm afraid your situation is far from unique. You see, small villages and farms to the south and east of Kalaman have been burned in recent weeks. Vogler is the largest community to be attacked thus far, and the only one with many survivors. Experienced patrols of armored Kalaman soldiers have been found cut down, in some cases with these mysterious claw marks, gashes in their armor. Lord Baccarus here and all of you have provided the clearest information on the enemy that Kalaman has received to date. Perhaps you could elucidate us on exactly what type of forces did, in fact, invade Vogler.
They are followers of Takhisis. They are a combination of human, minotaur, and something else. We ran across some of them on the road to Vogler. They are hideous creatures. They look like upright lizards, but with wings. They are extremely deadly in battle, and when striking one down, they seem to turn to stone.
While releasing
if you can strike one down.
While releasing a noxious gas that petrifies you.
I'm sorry, did you say petrifies you?
Yes.
Like, scares you or turns you stiff?
Turns you stiff, at best.
So even in death, the creatures can still kill you.
She looks over at the governor. This is confirmed by some other rumors that we heard, but we dismissed them as ravings of people attacked, quite frankly. We did not think there was any truth to them. What is this we hear about a dragon? Lord Baccarus had mentioned something about fireballs exploding in the docks.
Okay. So it's not an actual dragon. It's more of a machine. Like a tinkerer's machine. Reason why I know is because it was running on wheels. When I threw a barrel at the wheels to slow it down, one of those lizard people got out of it to try to get the barrel out from underneath it. I shot an arrow in the lizard's shoulder to hopefully delay and evacuated after that.
Interesting. And what do you know of this? You had mentioned something about a Dark Queen's army. Are you speaking of the gods of old?
Takhisis specifically. We saw some of their uniforms up close. It is, by no mistake, it is the symbol of Takhisis.
I'm looking at him when he says that, and I start smiling. It's just like,
Yeah.
Anyway,
Behind his back, where only he can see it, he's just flipping him the bird. Just behind his back.
Okay. So the marshal is sort of, the governor leans forward, Governor Mia. So are you telling me that these strange upright lizard creatures are capable of clawing through, well, armor?
yes, we saw 3 Solamnic knights die when we were on the road to Vogler. They were killed by these creatures when we came upon them. They destroyed the armor and just decimated the knights. They scattered into the wind. The only place we could figure that they went to was we found a large encampment north of Vogler, where they had a large army with regular patrols. They were well organized and they were ready for battle. Following day is when they sent their messenger to stop anyone from leaving the city, and they even threatened to. We even had one of our members try to communicate with the gate messenger, which they ran away and attacked him with spears. So eventually the city was overtaken.
Marshal Vendry.
All we could do was run.
Marshal Vendria looks over at Darrett in his shining Solamnic plate. Were those your friends that were cut down, those 3 knights that they found? And you just hear from the back of the table, he's not a Solamnic knight. I don't even know where they got that armor. And he's like, this was given to me by Becklin, Uthvihareen, who is a knight of Solamnia, who I've been studying under for years. She saw it fit for me to wear this. And no, I am not a knight of Solamnia. And no, they were not people that I knew of. They came into town and told us the story, providing epilogues and proof of their story before they could, Becklin could send off notes to Maelgoth, informing them of these knights' departure. Things suddenly just took a turn for the worse with this whole Dragon Army business. I'm pretty sure it was the ineptitude of your Becklin that led to this invasion in the first place. Your insistence on celebrating this ridiculous battle of hill house bullshit. And there's no reason for it. Anyway, we should retake, if you're truly a knight or want to be a knight, young boy, dressing up as if you were. If you really want to show your mettle, you will retake your home. We have 200 individual villagers, as you'd mentioned, some of them hunters, some of them traders and fishermen. Surely they could stand and fight for their right and home. Why didn't we do that in the first place? I believe it was you all who counseled to leave and abandon.
They would be cut down. These are professional soldiers we're talking about. All we have are refugees. Some of them haven't even held a spear before in their lives. Marshal, they have the city of Vogler. They have the port there. Even if you do not give the refugees of Vogler any aid, you must see to your defenses, for they will have a means by which to invade this town by water before long.
And may I say that I look over at Barrett, he led the right flank and actually was able to turn the Dragon Army on the right flank successfully with his experience. I think he acted admirably, as good as any knight.
He looks over and without saying anything, just with his eyes, just gratitude is just spilling out of him. And you notice that the leadership here are all sort of looking at him in a different way now after you mention that. And Marshal Vendry speaks up. Well, you certainly do have a point. We're going to need to talk about this. Please, if you could all step outside and the leadership of Kalaman will discuss this matter further.
Very well. Arjun will see himself out then.
So as everyone leaves, Darrett, sort of bows his head and he turns and walks away. You notice that Lord Backers did not leave. He stayed seated with the rest of the leadership there, and they didn't ask him to leave either. And so
I'm a mercenary on behalf of the mayor. I literally do not give 2 S's about what this guy does.
Yeah.
So I look over to Lord Baccharis real quick and I say, oh, Lord Baccharis, if you are going to ask them to open their gates and let the Dragon Army enter freely, believe me, that is not going to work. I don't think that's going to work here, as you did back at Vogler.
He's like sort of beside himself with rage. He can't get out what he wants to say in retort. So you guys walk outside. They close the doors behind you. So you're sort of standing at the door and just waiting. And 10 minutes goes by. You can hear coming from the other side of the door, but that's kind of it. You've got all the council.
This waiting area.
I'm sorry?
Is there like a guard in this waiting area?
On the far side of it, yeah.
Yep. It's time for some soldier gossip.
Okay. He's going over there.
We don't have to role play it out. It's just literally him just exchanging the good word.
Okay, nice. So as you guys are just sort of riffing on soldierly stuffs, 20 minutes passes, and you're still sitting there and you're just staring at this door, what could possibly be going on behind this damn door? After 30 minutes, the chamber doors open, and most of the council members file past you without even a glance. You do notice that the Cartographer Guild leader, Faz Julton, crop dusts you as you passes. Possibly unintentionally. He is an older man and, don't have full control of your faculties. But Marshal Vendry beckons you all to re-enter from the door, and while inside, Governor Miet and Lord Baccharis are remaining seated. So she invites you to, please sit down, everyone. after you sit, if you don't, let me know, but after you sit, in a decisive tone, Governor Miat says, "The citizens of Kalaman are prepared to offer you people shelter in the neighborhoods outside the city walls, the protection of our soldiers, and, while we can spare it, food from our tables." He folds his hands and fixes his eyes on each of you one at a time. "There is a condition, though." And after maybe a full 3-5 second count, he says, "Kalaman's leadership are concerned, justly, about the threat posed by the enemy that attacked Vogler. The city has woefully little information about this foe, and the scouts sent to learn more have all disappeared. However, both you and Lord Baccarus here have saved an entire village from possible destruction. Saved the people, at least. In return for Kalaman protecting the people of Vogler, Kalaman's leaders want you all, and you too, Darrett, to report to Marshal Vendry as special operatives in the Kalaman military. What do you think?"
I'm perfectly okay with that, but one thing on the information, I point right at the snobby man.
Lord Baccarus?
Yeah. He didn't do anything. He took tail and ran.
He's like, "I think we're past that point, son, but I do take your point."
Maybe Baccarus the Younger should join us.
"I'm sure he has other things to do. We've already, we're speaking on a leadership level with the leaders of Kalaman, and, we have other things that we should be worrying about. You're much more suited, putting yourselves in harm's way."
I see. I think he should be drinking in the inns like normal. I see. Understood.
He just sort of, shades his face from you a little bit. He's like, "So is it decided, all of you, will you become special attachments to the Kalaman military on our behalf of not only the citizens of Vogler, but the future of Kalaman if the Dragon Army does in fact invade here as well?"
I, for one, am willing to help in any way I can. I am here to restore balance in any way to our land, and to end this shadow of this Queen of Darkness that supposedly is leading this army.
You seem to have doubt about this, yet you seemed sure about it before, whether it's Takhisis leading it or not. Is it in fact confirmed, or do you just...
All I know is I've seen the symbols and I've seen the dragon men. I have not seen Takhisis, but I do know the gods are back. The gods have actually always been here. It's a situation of, if we know where to look for them, we can find them. I believe Takhisis is back as well. I just have no way to prove it. But I can prove that Chess loves love, and the wishes to bring back balance to the world is very, very real.
You hear this groan from Lord Baccarus, and I said,
I saw their tabards and their standards. They bear the symbol of Takhisis upon their livery. That's proof enough for me.
Darrett speaks up. Whether it is the old gods returning, or whether it's just a force acting in the name of Takhisis, the threat is still real. And we don't have all of our party here to agree to join, but I would be honored to assist Kalaman in any way against any of these incursions of this dragon army, this Dark Queen's army. Do you think we should wait to hear from Bendix and Galibrand on whether they should join as well? And Mr. Vendry, or Marshal Vendry, speaks up. "It's really not necessary. We only need as many of you as are willing to serve. We don't necessarily need all of you. Though if they decide to assist each of you, they will be paid the same. You will get 5 gold a week for all of your efforts. And of course, anything that you find along the way is, yours to keep as well. The fact is we need information, and you are our best source of that information at the moment. We have been facing off against incursions of ogres from the Taman Busik and raiders coming from Estwald, but we certainly have never faced off against a military force of this nature. And we are the shield that all of these forces would be hitting first if they do, in fact, invade the Nightland region. So, again, any assistance is greatly appreciated. You will be quartered here in Castle Kalaman, and of course, we'll provide you with evidence of your assistance, a lieutenancy of sorts. She comes around and places medals in each of your hands or sets it on the table in front of you. She says, this is a symbol of your special rank, and it should assist you with getting around the town and allowing people to trust you and how you do, in fact, represent Kalaman. And ultimately, Derek takes it, and he just salutes her as proudly as he can, as a young man wearing this Solamnic armor and being involved in something of substance and meaning. And he's just really overcome with pride, and she can kind of see his youth and, excitement about being involved in something like this. And she's doing her best to hide a bit of a smile because, again, we've all been there in our lives in some capacity. And ultimately she says, I am unable to seat you tonight, but if you will go and return to your villages from Vogler on the shoreline, we will send out soldiers. The governor has agreed to provide support to transport them and any of their possessions and set them up comfortably in the shantytown outside of north of Kalaman. Would this be acceptable for you?
That is what the mayor wanted.
Very well. We'll see to it. And when you are ready, please return to me, and after everything's taken care of, and we can get you set up with your quarters.
Before he leaves, he'll tap the symbol in front of him and say, I'm a mercenary. I would have to speak to the mayor first before I can accept another contract. If so, my rate is 10 silver coins a day.
Well, you will be given 5 gold per week. And that should be more than sufficient. I'm trying to do the math in my head of how much that is, whether that meets your rate or not.
Yeah, well,
It's 5 days.
I keep forgetting how many days are in a week on.
It's the conversion that I'm going to make.
7.
Yeah. I'm going to assume that meets his rate until he'll accept
No
it.
10 days here.
All right, so
the conversion rate like 70 silver to 1 gold.
Oh yeah, you should be good then. This is way over your rate. Then.
Yeah, that's
I
like
thought it was 10 silver for 1 gold.
Well, this is.
I might be wrong, or sorry, steel.
Anyway, this is 50. Yeah, I mean this is based on gold. Anyway, it's going to be enough. We're good. So yeah, you guys are free. They tell you thank you so much for coming and bringing all of this new information to bear, and they sort of side eye Lord Baccharis, and they tell you that the soldiers will be on their way in an hour or so.
Well, I walk over to Barrett, and I put my hand on his shoulder and say, "Congratulations on your first commission."
He smiles and he's like, "In the name of Becklin, I will do my best. Thank you for your kind words."
They were well earned.
He's like, "We should."
Everyone
we should
else,
get back.
congratulations to you all.
So everyone, like the leadership, the governor and the marshal leave. Lord Baccharis sort of walks past you, sort of harumphs as he passes, and he meets his son out in the greater courtyard where he was waiting. And they sort of just go off their own way into the actual city proper. You guys, you're free to go back down to the shoreline to tell them. You're free to do whatever.
That's where I'm headed.
Okay.
That's where I'm
Let's head back to the mayor.
Yeah. So again, it's about 2 miles, but you get back down to her. It looks like everyone's, kind of being taken care of as best as they can. There's not any food or anything, but everyone's huddled around fires, talking and sort of trying to process what they have gone through up until now. You guys were gone for quite some time, not just the travel there and back, but the entire time, in the meeting and then waiting outside and then the second meeting. And so you finally get back and she just bounces up and runs up. Can you tell me, what's the result of this?
They've offered to shelter. They're going to send soldiers to transport everyone over to the town outside of the walls.
Oh, that's
Curb your expectations. It's a shanty town, so it won't be great, but it's still shelter, and they're willing to provide what food and water that they can.
That's wonderful news. Thank you so much for doing this on behalf of us. I really do appreciate it, all of you.
They want
so-
us to. They want us. Myself and my companions. He looks over at the druid for a moment, and my companions to help serve as part of their military in exchange, since we have the most information about the threat that they now face.
I understand. I wouldn't want to impose on your kindness. You've already done so much for the people of Vogler. I'm sure we could find another way if it's too much of an imposition.
It is not. I'd actually be paid pretty well to do it, to be honest. Which reminds me, I do need to be released from your service before I can accept theirs.
Absolutely, you are released. Thank you so very much. And she comes over and gives you a big old bear hug, and in turn, she hugs each and every one of you, just thanking you, very dearly for everything that you've done for them. I mean, you literally saved their lives. I mean, they owe their lives to you at this point, and they're showing their gratitude 100%. At this point, Darrett walks up to Galibrand. He's like, Galibrand, may I speak with you?
I don't see why not.
I really do appreciate you looking after the citizens here. And we had all had a meeting with the Kalaman leadership. They offered us all a position as envoys to their military forces and to act in cooperation and to gather information about the potential oncoming war. Would you be willing to join on as an ensign like everyone else? And if not, that's okay too. You could join us, or if you'd prefer to go your own ways, I would understand, but you are more than welcome.
Sure. I've thrown in my lot with the rest of Vogler, and seeing as the other option is to walk home, I'd prefer to do something.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so very much. Puts his hand out to shake yours.
And I grab his forearm and I do like as firm a shake as he can. He's not the most muscular of men.
That's okay. Like, thank you very much. This is great. I'm not going to assume that Bendix is going to say yes, though I think he would, of course. So we'll just move forward thinking that, he's attached as well as you all are. And after, is there anything?
I'm pretty sure his oath as a Knight of Solamnia kind of compels him to anyway, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I just don't want to speak on his behalf.
Yeah,
I think
fair.
you're absolutely right. So we have a couple hours before the guards are going to get here. Is there anything you guys wanted to do in particular?
I'm gonna go talk to Jayev and tell him what's going on.
I'm going to go out into the surrounding forest and look for anything that I could use for food for the people, or turn into medicine for the sick or injured.
Give me a survival check, please.
Okie doke.
Now, whenever I ask you guys for checks, if there's something that you think would be more appropriate or you'd prefer to use in a creative way, feel free to bring it up. Let's do this collaboratively here.
I rolled a dirty 20.
Yeah, you're able to find, you actually find a couple hairs and some roots that you're able to dig up that can be ground and used medicinally and, stuff like that. Okay, so a couple hours go by and the guards come down and it's a whole procession. There's wagons, like multiple wagons brought down, and the people are just overjoyed. They're given, pieces of jerky and bread and some of them are, cheese and wineskins and stuff as they're helping load all of their personal belongings and themselves into the wagons. And then they just do a big U-turn and go right back toward the city. And after 2 miles, everyone's sort of set up and kind of, good to go, ultimately. So again, this is by now, it's late afternoon as everyone's getting settled. Is there anything that you guys want to do to try to help them get settled, or like, what do you think?
I'll walk around and try to do
following
healing.
Okay. And what about you, Galbrand?
Am I muted?
No, I heard you, Galbrand. What did you get?
There you go.
All right, sorry. Galibrand is going to stay near the back of the group to try to stop anyone from getting left behind or from straying off the path. So
Okay. And Arjun and Finn, are you going to do anything to help everyone sort of get settled?
Arjun is not good at that. Instead, he's either going to train with Jaev or he's going to train by himself, because there's a lot of lessons to be learned from that battle that just took place, and he wants to make sure to learn every single one of them.
Okay, yeah, Jaev is more than happy to not only catch up in a more appropriate way that you didn't have an opportunity to do before, but also spar with you and sort of trade tactics and attack, feints and, just different battle tactics.
Especially trying to figure out how to kill those things without getting
Ugh.
petrified.
Yeah,
That's
for
like
sure.
that right now. That's the big thing.
Yeah, hoping that that's the worst of it, but it gets so much worse.
Well, he doesn't know that
Yeah,
yet, though.
yeah. All right, so Finn, what were you gonna do?
I'm going to give half of what I found to people who need it and use the other half to tend to my boar's injuries.
Okay, nice. All right. So as you guys are just sort of taking care of each other, a couple hours pass, and it's about the time that you should be, you've got everyone settled. This is about the time Marshal Vendry would be expecting you to go check in with her.
Yep, go talk to her then.
Okay.
I tell JFA, it's still great to see you. I'm glad you made it.
It's been a complete honor revisiting with you and learning how much you've grown as a warrior, and this is very impressive. If there ever is another regiment that I'm a part of, I would sure like to have your arm next to me in battle.
You know what? I would actually consider that.
Very good. As you guys are saying this, in the distance, you hear this like howling wolf sound breaking. I mean, you're hearing the regular day-to-day sound of a city coming from behind you, but from where you came, from the north and the sort of the river line, you're actually hearing this wolf howl. And as you guys are watching, you're seeing this large mass of people in the very far distance, just shy of a mile away, sort of approaching. And it's a rather large group as far as you can tell from here, but they seem to be approaching behind this sort of wolf sound. Ulrich, can I get a perception check from you?
Sure, perception. $15.
Okay. You notice that that's your father. First of all, you recognize the howl. It's very distinct to you. Everyone else just sounds like a howl. But you notice it's seemingly leading this mass of people. And you just see him sort of stop and like look over at them as soon as they get within, easy sight distance, still very far away from you. And you see this very short person like turn and command the group of people to halt and sort of walk forward. And as it gets closer, everyone recognizes that it's actually Cudgel Iron Smile. And Jaev runs up, "I thought you were dead! This is great!" And runs over and like picks her up. She's like, "Let me down, you bastard! Let me down!"
They were dead for sure.
And this is not the entire group that was facing them. This is just a dozen survivors. It looked more from a distance than it actually is now that it's up close. And you see Cudgel sort of limping up to everyone. "I see you've all made it out. I'm so glad. I don't know what this wolf is thinking, but before we had a chance to attack it, it seemed to be luring us away from the town, and we finally collected up all of our living, and, well, here we are. We would like to help Kalaman in some way and make sure that everyone survived. It looks like you guys are all doing well."
I walk up to the wolf.
We have everyone settled. We have everyone settled here. The city has agreed to provide shelter and food to the refugees. They are looking for people that were experienced in the battle to assist them in any further operations, but it looks like you all could use some rest first.
Derek runs up immediately. He's like, "Becklin? What happened with Becklin?" And Cudgel looks up at him, and she sort of like lowers her head and just shakes it. "I'm sorry, son. I don't think she made it." And he's like, "No, you don't think she made it? So it's possible she could have made it?" She's like, It's not likely, son. We lost nearly everyone.
Arjun puts a hand on his shoulder and just tells him, "Until you see the body, don't lose hope."
Thank you. He sort of turns once again as hope glimmers in his eye and is just snuffed out and just walks away. And Cudgel just, I wish sometimes I was as innocent as that lad. Well, I'm going to head up to the castle. I'm going to see if they would like me and the remains of the Ironclad Regiment, as poor as we are. And she starts sort of limping up toward everyone. What did you say you were doing, Ulrich? You walked up to the wolf?
It's okay. That's fine.
Well, while that was happening, you could definitely do that.
I just walked up to my father and, just petted his head, and that's it. I mean, the scene happened.
Yeah. So that you're having this, sort of tender reunion, but, your last conversation with him was him saying he can't follow you into what you're going into. And so this is a bit of a, I'm still going to be around. I can't really help you types thing. I mean, you're getting this vibe of he's not abandoned you. He's not forgotten you. He's just, he can't be as involved as he used to be in your life.
I tell him I understand.
So you guys head up back to the castle, and the gate guards, you tell them why you're going there, and they direct you, up to Marshal Vendry's office. Marshal Vendry's office, once you actually get into the foyer of where her office room is, you see a clerk sort of sitting out, and she stands up. Can I help you? Darrett looks over. Yeah, we were asked to see Marshal Vendry. Is she available, perchance? And Cudgel's sitting there as well. And she's like, oh, yes, she's was going to meet with, is it Ridimir Ironsmile? You can call me Cudgel, darling. She's like, well, okay, Cudgel. She was going to meet with him, but or with her, I beg your pardon. But you're all welcome to go in and, together if you are, in fact, all together. And Cudgel's like, I don't want to step on anything you guys are doing, so if you want to go in ahead of me, that's fine, too.
No, we can all go in together, I think.
Very good.
I agree.
So Marshal Vendry's office is sparse. It holds little more than a desk heaped with documents, shelves filled with rolled scrolls, and a board on which is pinned a map of the surrounding province of Nightland. Vendry stands as you enter. Thank you for coming. I won't mince words. We were in the dark regarding the dangers I fear are fast approaching our gates, and your role will be to change all of that. But first, you must have questions. Is there anything I could fill you in about what we're going to be expecting of you, or where you're going to be staying, or anything of that sort before I send you to your quarters?
So what do you think needs to be done first? Like, what type of training?
Well, to be quite fair, we are going to be training a lot of the Vogler recruits came up, and after you it's been reported that they have offered to sign up and show their service. So we have some people working with them to try to determine whether they would actually be worthy of being a part of the militia or not. Ultimately, we have a lot of things in the hopper. I don't really have time to assign you anything now, but I would like Darrett to be a bit of an envoy between us for most cases, and I could reach out to him and let him know what the next mission is, and he could then relay those orders to you, and you could go on and sort of operate independently, as it were. Again, you could be paid in advance from the clerk right outside, and, on a weekly basis, we'll determine what this force really looks like, and hopefully it'll be more than a week before we have to really face off against anything dangerous. You all know that is wildly optimistic. They're on the doorstep, but she doesn't really know, the full force that you guys faced. She just knows the stories, and she's used to fighting off raiders and ogre incursions, not military forces.
If I may ask, what's the state of your navy?
Oh, well, we don't really have an operating navy of sorts. We're more of a localized militia guarding against Estwild incursions, really, just for Nightland. Mostly the Knights of Solamnia, when they are available, out of Palanthus or out of... I'm sorry, it's sort of drifting out of my head. Sankrist. isle, they are more of the protectors of the waters, as it were.
Have you sent any word towards them that this army might be approaching?
Not as of yet. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to get in contact with any of the Knights of Solamnia. Even sending word to Melgoth takes weeks. So you can understand trying to get any word faster than that. I just don't see them responding in time to be of any assistance to us.
All right. Well, in that case, we have two main entrances that they'll probably try to capitalize on. The invading force will either try to hit you from the docks or try to hit you from the main gate. Probably both. So that's something to have to consider when preparing your defenses.
Indeed.
Otherwise, I'm prepared to fulfill whatever function you deem necessary for me.
That is very good to hear. Thank you very much. Are there any other questions that any of you have?
What does your militia specialize with more? Is it polearms, swords?
We train our
short-
militia to be effective in any melee combat situation. So whether that's ranged, mounted, or using polearms or directly swords in face-to-face combat, the militia is quite capable. I can assure you of that.
My question is, you want us to do mostly scouting missions. Do we have any ideas of which directions that we should will be going into as of yet, or is there still being determined?
Well, the specific details are still being determined, but I have a number of locations that I am looking to send you as soon as you're ready. I would like to offer you a night's sleep. You've been through so much for the past 24 hours that I could not, in good conscience, expect you to do anything for us. And to be quite honest, I don't think you would be at your top of your game if you operated right now. So I would like to offer you your rooms so you can get some sleep. And I'm sure in the morning we'll have more information about specific military operations for you. Does that sound acceptable to everyone?
That sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm.
Cudgel speaks up. I would like to talk to you about integrating my ironclad regiment, either with the refugees that want to stand up and fight or to be integrated into your militia. We want another crack at these bastards, and we're going to take some knees. She sort of like smiles. Yes, well, I've heard about the ironclad regiment, and you are more than welcome to join us. Thank you so very much for the offer. But you too look like you could have some well-deserved rest, perhaps. She's like, well, I've been better. Yes, I think that's a good idea. She calls out, guard, please come in. He comes in. I would like you to show everyone here around the castle very quickly, but directly lead them up to their rooms afterward so that they can get acquainted with their personal belongings and get some sleep and get some food in their bellies before the morning. Yes, ma'am. I'll see to it. And Darrett, salutes her as best he can. She's like, Darrett, I'd like to speak with you for a moment if you would stay behind. Yes, of course, my lady. She looks over. She's like, if there's any need of any armor or weapons, we do have access to them here on the first floor of the castle in our armory. I'm freaking tongue-tied here. Anything else you need, any food or drink is, you're more than welcome. Everything is taken care of. We're here to make sure that you are 100% recovered before we send you anywhere. Thank you again for your service. We really do appreciate it. So the guard sort of leans you to, come and follow him. And ultimately, he's
Do
just...
we salute?
Yeah, you're like, I don't know how...
I don't know what to do.
She just waves her hand. She's like, it's quite all right. Don't worry about it. So the guard takes you around, and he's like, this is a very beautiful castle here, as you can imagine. It's been here since before the Cataclysm, and no force has ever been strong enough to take Kalaman. And not from back in Istar's time, and certainly not before it, however far back the castle does, in fact, date. I'm not a historian, but I will tell you, the first floor, that's really where the city council and governors meet. Various government offices and small library in the armor is on that first floor. As we're passing here through the second floor, this is the military command and officers' lodgings. This is where your friend Cudgel's going to be staying, and I believe Darrett's going to be staying there as well. As we pass through the third floor here, this is the Castle Guards Lodge. It's the smelliest of all floors, but you'll excuse us. We try our best. Most other soldiers reside elsewhere in the city, if not here in the council's ancillary structures. Now that here we're at the 4th floor, much of the castle is vacant and is in disrepair, including most of this floor and the towers themselves. You all have been assigned lodgings in this unused ballroom on the 4th floor, and before I get to that specifically, and also there's the basement. And mostly the basement of the castle is used for storage, and it also holds, long sealed doors of the castle's ruined dungeons, but it's been so long since anyone's gone down there, I'm sure they're, it's probably still locked and, I don't know, filled with rats or something, I guess. Anyway, here you are. So this room was once a small ballroom. A row of pillars sculpted with knotwork and images of knights supports a vaulted ceiling. Light shines into the room through these tall windows facing the mountains to the south, and you're getting a straight, direct look at Dergard Mountains, shrouded in clouds and darkness. One corner of the hall holds a collection of plain cots and empty chests, and nearby stands a large wooden table. So you each have your own private spaces. There are private rooms, 3 small private rooms connected if any of you don't want to be in this larger space. It's really up to you to work out. You guys all recognize these statues as, just from being in Vogler and such, as Solamnic Knight gods, whether it's the warrior god Kiri-Jolith or, depictions of Solamnic knights on the walls and such. But it's a beautiful and very accommodating space for you. What do you want to do?
All right. Well, for Argent, first things first. Weapons and armor maintenance, food, bath, sleep. In that
All
order.
right. That's all able to be done. Anyone else?
I'm going to go to an open... Well, I'm going to find a location to start writing.
Okay. So we didn't resolve the fact that you have a boar plodding along at your feet the entire time. No one has said anything about it. So either they've seen something like this before from your type of a person, or it's behaving so well they think maybe you just raised it from birth and it's a pet, but it hasn't bothered anyone and it's not being bothered by anyone. So it's just sort of plodding next to you. Are you going to do anything specific with it, or?
Nope, I will let it do its own thing for now. But I would like to find a location to sit and write down everything that's going on, to hopefully get a letter out to the extended armies or militia of this castle through birds or aerial animals.
Yeah, you'd have to leave any sort of messages with clerks, and like carrier pigeons and stuff like that are not as prevalent here in Dragonlance. So, they would have some sort of mail system set up. It's going to take a long time to get anywhere outside of the city. But if you're just sending messages to the military force, you can leave it with the clerk, and Marshal Ventry is in charge of the militia. So you should just give it directly to her.
But I don't think we would have weeks for them to learn about the information to start preparing.
You don't really have any other option. It's literally you do it by the mail route, or you use magic, or you just don't tell people. That's how it works here. There's no phones.
I have a couple animal-based spells: friendship or animal friendship, speak with animals, and beast bond. So I was thinking about, if I got a good enough roll, I could get a bird to come land next to me, speak with it, and ask if it could travel the letter over to the locations that it needs to be.
Okay. You can definitely pursue that before you crash for the night. You are exhausted, so anything that you do, make sure that you do it with expeditiously, so you can get some sleep, because clearly you're going to get word in the morning, as has been already called out. But yeah, you don't have to roll or anything like that. I mean, you can just go through the process, but you do need to understand that you're still only traveling at the rate of a bird. So it's going to take time.
Is there any possibility I can get myself a medicine kit?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they said that there was the armory. You could just go down right there and they can hook you up with nearly anything you need that's mundane. They don't have anything of heavy armor or anything over that, but anything under that, they're capable of providing for you. Okay. So ultimately, the night is going to go well. You guys are going to be able to sleep. We're sort of at our mark for a break. Do you guys want to take a quick break? Okay. Let's do a quick break. And on the other side, just remember, mute your mics. Everyone watching, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will be back shortly, and we'll see you there. All right.
Testing.
Yeah, looks like we are all back. Okay, morning dawns. Do 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 do. Sun is shining. Everyone feels cleaned and rested and ready for the day. And before you guys can actually fully get up and get everything out, everyone notices that Finn's boar is actually cuddled up on the foot of his bed, and it like looks up as everyone's waking up and goes right back down to sleep, taking up the majority of the bed, like burying his legs.
Relatable.
Yeah, yeah. Entering the room is Darrett, shined Solamnic plate, just with a bounce in his step. Good morning, everyone. How did you sleep? That badly, huh?
Better than being awake. That's for sure.
What?
Well, just to let you all know, I've actually been out training with the militia later last night and early this morning, and they're actually pretty impressed with what I've been doing. So again, thank you so much for the kudos in the meeting, because it seems to, paid off. They really want me to act as a sort of an envoy, and Cudgel has just come in with her remaining ironclad regiment and been integrated into the militia immediately. Everything seems to be, shaping up really wonderfully. And I have your first mission if you guys are ready for it.
Yeah.
Lay it
Go
on
ahead.
us.
So Kalaman's leadership seems to be really disturbed hearing about this dragon-like invention, the Red Dragon Army deployed in Vogler, and they really would like to know more about that specific threat. About 12 miles south of Kalaman, there's a gnome there that lives named Tatina Rukeldust. Well, Tatina apparently knows something about mechanics. Vendry would like you all to go down to her home and see if she knows anything about this device that you all had witnessed or something similar to it. And even if she doesn't really know anything, Vendry would really, Marshal Vendry, pardon me, would really appreciate it if you guys could encourage her to come back with you and meet with the city and the leadership in order to recruit her as a sort of a technological advisor. I don't really know anything about gnomes or inventions or anything, but I know that Than back in Vogler was really, really useful with his catapult that ended up being a catapult, and it helped in the battle. So, I'm not going to be able to join you for this particular mission. I still have some training to do with the rest of the militia and the recruits, but I can give you a map and get you really specific directions here. You guys ready?
Lay it on us.
So he gives you precise directions, and ultimately, I just want to show you a map here of, well, that is not supposed to be there, a map of the area so you can get a sort of an idea, a closer up map. This was Vogler, where you came from. This is Kalaman, where you are currently, and Rukeldust, her home, is somewhere down here. So he gives you directions that it is, in fact, in this space. It is going to take you some time to get there ultimately, but you're able to go whenever you have time. And yeah, they thank you all so much for your service. So what do you think?
I'm sorry, I blacked out like halfway through that. Could you explain like that last part for me?
It's like, I'm sure your friends can fill you in on the gaps. I have
Rupel Dust
pressing
lives
business.
down here.
There you go.
We need to go there.
Okay.
Do you need to sit this one out just in case? I mean, are you tired? Need any more sleep?
No, I just, for some reason, I lost all sense of awareness, which confused me.
Okay. So if there's anything you need to pick up, now's the time to pick it up. And other than that, you're free to go. I'm assuming you guys collected your first week's pay when you left Mayor Vendry yesterday, last afternoon. If
Wait,
not,
the pay is at the beginning of the week?
if not, then you
Oh.
can pick it up on the way out of town if you want. It's 5
Sure.
gold. Just make sure you mark it down.
Does that just go under managed inventory?
Yeah, I'm not sure where the money is on those character sheets.
If you go over to the inventory tab, there's going to be a little number at the top right next to extras with this gold-looking thing. You're going to click on that, and then it's going to bring up the managed coin page.
Got it. I found it. Cool.
Yep, pick up the pay, and then if there's any available, Arjun will restock on rations and torches and the like.
Okay. Yeah, just mark down anything you guys need to mark down. If it's anything other than just normal stuff, make sure you let me know if it's something that you want, because they may not have it. But other than that, you guys are free to head out. And just let me know when you're ready.
I'm going to pick up more arrows.
Okay.
Since the arrows that I shot at those lizard things kind of got petrified and ashen.
Right. Okay. So you guys start traveling toward this Rukal Dust's location. I know, Arjun, you had some interaction with Than, and so did Finn. I don't know anyone else how much you are aware of gnomes. You know they exist. Obviously, they're in this world, and you know that they speak incredibly fast and that they're all tinkers, though most of their inventions end in explosions for some reason or another. But that does not deter them. They are insistent, if nothing else. I don't know. Think whatever you want about the village leaders wanting you to collect this sort of gnome, but as you head down, you're heading directly south almost at this point, and on the horizon you see again the looming Daragard Mountains and the cloud cover that's always swirling over those mountain ranges. And from the distance, you see this little figure sort of bouncing up through the brush toward all of you. And as you get closer, you actually see it's a Kender, and as soon as it sees you, you see this huge grin spread on its face, and it waves its hand, and it comes bouncing up. Hi, what are you guys doing?
Length, arms.
Is this the same one?
Are you asking me what my arm length is? I think it's like 2.5 feet. What's yours?
You're a Kender. You just you stay right there.
How? Okay. How's everyone else? What are you guys doing out
Is
here?
this Frostwind?
Is this
We're
the same
on a mission
Kender?
in the city.
No, this he hasn't introduced himself yet, but he's like, my name is Trap Springer.
Trap.
Hi,
Springer.
Traps. Do you
What's
happen
your
to
name?
know where a gnome would be around here?
Oh, I haven't seen any gnomes. I'm out looking for dragons. I don't suppose you guys have seen any. I heard rumors there's dragons up this way.
Not actual dragons, but a forged one that's a kind of a terrible replica, if you want.
I don't understand what you're saying. You're saying it's a fake dragon?
Pretty much.
Like a statue.
That sounds interesting too. Does it move? Do you think
Very
that's the
much.
dragon people are talking about?
Yes, I am
wait.
near. I'm near 100% certain.
He's sort of walking behind you.
You
Where'd you
said-
get all these arrows? And he's starting to like pull your arrows out. He's like, what else is in this quiver?
Don't touch the arrows.
What do you mean?
Wait. You said the dragon people were talking about. So you
No,
interact.
I heard people talking about dragons, and so I thought I'd come over and see the dragons. Just rumors, really, but rumors do have some bearing in truth in some case. He said he saw a mechanical dragon. I think that's pretty interesting.
It was part of the force that took Vogler.
Oh, wow. I've heard about Vogler. So they took it? Like, where did they take it to? Is it still on the Vingard River?
Yes, they conquered it.
Okay.
Why
so
don't you go to Vogler?
the dragon's in
and they'll
control of
point
Vogler
it
now?
out.
I think that's a great idea. I'd love to see the dragon in Vogler.
Yeah, you do
All right,
that.
go ahead.
You do that.
All right.
You do you.
Let's not be any more distracted than we are. Let's keep going.
Well, I think someone dropped this knife, and Galibrand, you notice, like, oh, he's got one of your knives. Like, did you want this back?
Galibrand is. You know what? Keep it. And Galibrand is just going to keep going, and he pulls another knife out of his
Thank
boot.
you. Thank you very much. Have a safe journey. Good luck finding dragons. Hey, if I see any, should I point them to you?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Point
do
them
that.
in the opposite
If-
direction.
If
No,
you see any dragons,
he
point them to
said
me,
it.
please.
You guys just asked him to tell the dragons where we are.
Well, we're not going to
These
be in
lots
this
of
location. Well, we're not going to be in this location by the time he finds one.
Oh man.
Well, it's been a
Let's just
millennia
keep
since anyone's
going.
seen a real
Besides,
dragon. So
At this
Yeah.
point, I'm pretty sure that army has a map. So
It's true. It's very true.
But we don't know if the Kender does. So
He's probably got it
oh,
back.
he does. He
if we're
does.
lucky, it'll stay that way.
Okay, so you guys get to where you're supposed to be ultimately, and it's a little bit. You're sort of searching around. You're like, I'm sure it's supposed to be around here somewhere. Ultimately, on a hill stands an unusual structure that resembles both a cottage and a metal fortress. The building bristles with steaming pipes and whirring devices, and it's currently under siege. Amid clanging metal contraptions, goblins trying to breach the structure, impeded by gadgets that spin, snap, and thrash in the yard. Every few moments, a gnome appears from the open clock-faced window above the door and hucks a new clockwork calamity at the attackers and then closes it while cackling and yelling insults at them. So let me set this up really quick, and we're going to have everyone roll initiative.
I already like this gnome.
So you see the house here in the center. There's a bunch of goblins all around it with something standing off in the distance down below. Anyone who pays attention to it is going to see it as a hobgoblin.
Do you have the initiative trackers launched?
I'm looking for it. Here we go.
Oh, there it is. I see it. Cool. Now I can roll.
So Tristan, I'll add you because that was a good roll.
Yeah.
That was 21.
Yep.
All right, and I'm going to have every one of them go on this guy. On his... Let me see. Okay. Arjun, you're 10. Galabrand is 21. Where is Ulrich? What did you get?
I should be already on there, right? I got a 10. I used the initiative tool, and it
I
should
see,
have
but it
loaded
didn't add it to the list here. And then Finn, what did you get? You're not on the list either.
9.
Finn has a 9. Not a great roll. Okay, let me make sure that's everyone. And let's sort this bad boy and get into it. Galabrand is, with that initiative roll, is definitely the first one to go. So I'm trying to make it so everyone can see everything here. Okay, so in front of you, you see 5 goblins directly in front trying to bang their way in through. You're seeing the chaos of everything happening around. What do you want to do?
I'm going to spend my I'm going to spend a bonus action to use my cunning action, which allows me to do a hide action to roll for stealth.
So the problem with stealth in this open area is that other than this incline directly in front of you, there's nowhere really to hide. So,
well, could I approach silently? Because from the looks of it, they aren't paying attention to where we currently
they're definitely
are.
not paying attention to you. So until you actually engage them, you could be hidden from them effectively but if you move up to this point, they will be able to see you because there's nothing for you to hide behind. Like, it's not magical invisibility or anything, so.
Well, what I'm asking you, all right then. Is there a sufficiently sized rock around here?
Right, here's one.
All right. What's going to happen is Galabrand is going to pick up a rock that could fit easily in his hand, and is going to make a noise more to the north of. Try to throw a rock over here to make a noise to sort of draw out their attention.
Okay. Well, go ahead and give me an attack roll to see if you can throw it in that general area.
Okay. Do I add anything to this attack roll?
Probably your dexterity bonus.
Okay. 22.
Yeah. So you huck it up north, you see it and land. With the calamity of everything going on around them, they're not paying attention to a single rock. There's things bouncing around on the ground, like attacking them while they're trying to break in the door and avoid everything. So they don't see you yet, but they didn't really seem to pay attention to that rock either.
Okay.
You do have your move or any other bonus actions you want to use?
Well, am I still not allowed to hide, or?
If you want to stay, you have to have something to hide behind or in, right? Like you can't just turn invisible. So right here is a depression going down toward
I know.
you. So if you want to hide behind that point, you can. Or there's a huge boulder up to the north that you can hide behind. But other than that, there's nothing really to hide in. So you just let me know where you want to go to try to hide, and I'll let you know.
Galibrand is going to look towards the rest of his group, just say, these are definitely hostiles, and is then going to start moving towards the south, towards where this sort of incline over here is.
Okay.
Sorry, the initiative tracker is right in front of where my character is.
You should be able to move it.
I did, so it's just a little bit of a thing I gotta deal with. And I have so I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to go right there.
Okay. Is that your turn?
If I'm still not able to hide, then yes.
If you want to roll
Or
to hide
do a
where you are
stealth
right
check.
now, you can.
Well, more of, you know what, never mind. That's the end of my turn.
So at this point, you hear coming from down below, "We have more intruders, everyone! Turn your face! Face them! Fight! Fight for the queen!" And he moves up 1, 10, 15, 20. And he's like screaming and pointing over in this area up here. So everyone is going to go on his turn just to make it simple. Let me see what his ranged attacks are here. So you see him pull out a longbow and just steady it. Arrow comes. There's 3 of you here. So 1, 2 is Finn, 3, 4 is Arjun, 5, 6 is Ulrich. So Ulrich, it's firing an arrow over at you.
Yeah, wait, no. Sorry.
You win! What's your armor class, please?
15, I believe.
It strikes you for, I'm just doing average damages here, for 5 damage piercing. I don't know if the piercing matters to you or not. And this goblin comes charging downhill, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Well, he can't really get to you in attack. So he's just going to come up to you. And these are all going to do the same. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. I'm just going to move them all here. And then from around the back, so let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. What's their total move? Speed, that's it.
One minute. I will be
problem.
right back.
Okay, so they're all charging from around the house here toward all of you at the direction of their supposed leader. Ulrich, you are up.
All right. I guess I will cast Shillelagh and actually, no, I'll just use my spear. No, I'm just going to use my spear. I'm not going to use Shillelagh.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to try to attack whatever one right next to me, I guess.
So goblin
defending
number
myself.
3.
Yeah. And let's see what we get here. 18.
That is a hit. Nice hit. So you're using your spear, so you just lunge it out at him. You see him like trying to drop his bow and grab for his sword, and you just stab right into him. What's the damage on that?
Let's see. I'm using it one-handed, so it's 1d6, I believe.
And then your strength bonus.
What? It did a roll like so it rolled 2 different dice, but I think the 1d6 is what it's supposed to be. It says 1d6 plus 1, so I got a 2.
Oh man. Okay. What else would you like to do?
Is there a guarded movement kind of thing, like where I can step away?
No, that's a full action to disengage. So if
so
you
that's
move
an
at this
action, it's
point,
not a
he
move or
would
anything?
have an opportunity to attack on you.
Okay, so there's no way to move freely. Okay, then I guess I'm done.
Yeah, there's feats that allow you to do that, that don't take an actual action or anything. But all right, so next is Arjun. What you up?
The one right in front of me, he's gonna get an axe. Actually, hang on. Let me read precision. We will go ahead and use a precision attack then. All right, so that's a total of 14. Does a 14 hit?
14 does not. He's able to block your with his scimitar. He's like blocking your sword thrust.
Well, it's a battle axe, but yeah.
Oh,
that's
your
fair.
battle axe. Yeah.
Okay. I got nothing else at the moment, so yeah, that's my turn.
All right, Finn. What you got? No one's on you directly.
Okay. Which one was the one that shot the arrow?
The hobgoblin did.
Oh, was it this one right here?
Right over here.
Oh, I didn't see
I have
them
these
down
labeled.
there.
Can you guys see the
Okay.
labels?
I can't see labels on them, and I can't select them, so
Oh, okay.
they're not
Okay.
visible to players.
So hobgoblin leader's right here.
Okay, I didn't see them down there. One more quick thing. Can you also throw my boar up there?
Your what?
Boar?
Oh, yeah. Where the hell is your boar? Let me grab your boar. Now
Thank you.
remember, you can't tell your boar to attack unless you give up your attack.
I get that.
Just want to make sure. Where
Okay.
are the boars?
Since he's kind of obscured from my line of sight, I'm going to 5, 10 up to this one right here. I'm going to dual wield my hand axe and dagger.
Can the boar flank him to give you bonuses?
No. No.
Okay,
Oh, really?
11 does not hit. How about the... Neither of them hit.
Oh man! So these goblins are just parrying everything that you're throwing at them with ease. These are clearly not as weak and timid as you had originally, thought them to be. At 0 initiative, you see that clock door, that little window open up again, and the gnome sticking her head out. You can assume it's Rukel Dust, Tatina. He screams out, "Take this, you little bastards!" and throws a little device out. And it just sort of bounces down on the ground. It doesn't actually get very far. You see her, "I'll get you next time!" and close the door again. All right, so back at the top, Galibrand.
All right. I want to try to make a roll to remain hidden from these guys up here.
If you don't
So I'm
move,
just gonna try.
if you're successful at your hide roll, if you don't move, then you'll be able to do that. If you come up to this rise right here, you're walking right into their line of sight, so they will see you.
Aren't they looking at the group that's
They're looking
up
in
north?
this direction, and if you come up, you're right in their periphery right here. And this is a rise at eye level. So down here, they do not see you at this moment, and so you can stay here and hide if you want. But if you do move up in front of them, then they will see you. If there was like something that you could hide behind, it wouldn't be a big issue. But this is an open expanse, you know?
So then how does sneak attack work at all?
Well, in this particular case, you would just have to have advantage, and then you could do extra damage.
Okay, so it's less sneak attack and more good. All right. Well, seeing as Galibrand's friends were just shot, Galibrand is going to shoot at this guy with his short bow.
Okay.
So he kind of stays low, pulls out his short bow, and then he's going to take a shot at the hobgoblin.
Sounds good.
That would be a 22 to hit.
That would be a hit. You just take your time, take a deep breath. And you just hear this thunk. Ah! Ah,
Only
what?
4 damage.
Right there, get him! 4 damage?
Yep.
Ouch.
Then Galibrand's going to flip them off and start to run back to the rest of the group.
Nice. Go ahead and move to wherever you want to move.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and kind of just appear right behind this guy.
Okay. So that means it's their turn. He still has his bow out. And what is our range here? Yeah, that's no problem. He's going to return it right back to you. Well, he's going to try to, we'll say.
Okay.
With a 7, I suspect that's a miss. He's just pissed off.
That does miss.
Yeah. So we're going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Well, no, 30. And then everyone else is going to go. So this goblin is just going to attack you, Galibrand, because you're right in front of him. Let's see. Goblin. He has a scimitar. He's just coming up to attack you. What is your armor class again?
14.
You're easily moved to the side as he swings right down in front of you. They do not get 2 attacks. Ulrich, this goblin that Galibrand is right behind, go ahead and is going to attack you as well. And what's your armor class?
15.
It totally swings right by you. You just sort of push it aside with your spear. Arjun, this goblin's attacking you. 21, what's your armor class?
My armor class is 19.
You take 5 damage from the scimitar slashing you. Finn,
Ow.
this goblin right here is going to attack you. And what's your armor class? Finn?
16.
16. Okay, he rolls an 11 and completely misses as you step aside, using your dual weapon fighting to parry off his attack. And then we see this guy's going to move over here, and he's going to attack Finn. And that's a complete and total miss. So 5, 10, 15, or yeah, 20, 25, 30. He pulls his short bow out, and he's going to attack Galibrand right here. What's your armor class again, Galibrand? I need to get your guys' armor class on your character figures here. What's your armor class?
My armor class is 14.
He completely goes right by you, just you just feel a little breeze blow by your hair, I mean. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He's going to attack Ulrich with his short bow. And a 7 completely misses right over your head. You have a bit of concealment just from down there as well. So then we got to deal with these guys. What's our range here? No problem, no problem. Okay, so this goblin right here is going to attack Arjun with his short bow. 22, that hits, right?
Yep.
You take 5 damage. The arrow just runs in and smacks you. This goblin is going to attack Finn as well as the one above it. So I'm just going to roll twice really quick here with short bows. An 18 and a 16. Do those hit your armor class, Finn?
Yep.
So you take 5 from each of them. 5 damage, one another. And just... And you just hear these arrows flying in at you from above as you're actively defending yourselves from all of the goblins in front of you. And they're all just gibbering and jabbering little insults. Trying to get you all pissed off and everything. Okay. We're up with Ulrich.
How much damage does everyone have? I also just put a health marker on my guy, and if you click on it, I also put an AC on the green.
Oh, you're awesome. Thank you.
So
Yeah, I had the
anybody else
greens
wants-
as your passive wisdoms, perceptions, but they're not showing
what-
up here. So go ahead. That's fine.
Oh.
Don't worry about it. You're good.
Who's how much damage is everyone taking? 5 damage each for both Finn and
Arjun's down 10.
down 10. Okay. I'm going to cast a healing spell. Let's see. I'll do Cure Wounds. That will do. I'm going to cast it real quick on you. Say a short prayer to Cheslov to allow this warrior to keep fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And
No.
and I scored a 12. You get 12 hit points back.
Nice. It's a good prayer. Take it.
All right.
And that takes up my. Is that my normal turn then for that? Is that a standard action?
Spells are usually actions. The spell itself should say.
Let's see.
If you
This is one
look-
action. Yep.
Yeah.
So
you're
Okay,
not
then
going to
I guess
move or
I'm done.
anything?
not because I can't do a safe move, so there's
Yeah.
no. Yeah, I'm pretty much.
Arjun, you're up.
All right. Still fighting this goblin that's right in front of me. So that dude. Swing my battle axe. Nope.
Oh no, yeah, they're just parrying everything you got, and you're just like, stand still, you dirty little goblin!
Stupid little things. Okay, that's yeah, I think that's it for my turn.
As arrows are coming down, distracting, you're like, oh shit, come on! Okay, so you're not going to move at all. Then we're down at Finn.
I'm going to just taunt this one. You smell worse than the crap that I took last night. As I swing my hand axe, which does a 21 hit.
Oh yes, it does. That's a good hit.
Sweet.
What's your damage?
That is 7 damage, and then I'm gonna swing my dagger.
Okay, so how did it die? Because you just killed it.
Oh. I'm gonna be aiming straight for roughly around the neck area.
Hack right into it. Blood's just like spraying out at your face. It's just like, oh, it doesn't hinder you at all, but it's just gross. Hope he doesn't have Hep C or anything. He drops down dead. Well
And
done.
then for this one, I'm gonna use my hand axe, which
Now, are you
I
allowed to
roll-
use 2-weapon fighting on 2 different people? I know you can do it on 1. Does anyone know a quick ruling? I'm inclined to
it
let you
doesn't-
do the second attack. I don't know if there's like an official. Someone let me know if you're in the chat, and I'll look it up after the game, and we'll clarify it for future. But go ahead and make your attack.
In 2-weapon fighting, it doesn't mention anything on 2 different people. I think it's
It's
for
fine, you can do it.
attacks per action in a single turn.
Right.
But
I know this-
because
I know
But
this
because-
particular mechanic.
What's that, Arjun?
Basically how 2-weapon fighting works, right?
Mhm.
With your main hand, you get your regular action, so that's attacks per action. So right now it would be 1, but as a bonus action, then you can make 1 attack with your
Gotcha.
offhand attack. However, unless you have a feature or like a feat or something that lets you add your to hit bonus to your strength or dexterity to your offhand attack to hit is the same, but the damage is only the damage die of the weapon.
Not the strength or dexterity too. Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Gabriel.
I rolled a 3.
But at least now we know. So yeah, you roll a 3 and you like swipe. You have your dice right in front of him and you roll it. You're like, damn it, can't hit you. No, you swipe at your weapon and he just sort of backs to the side without any issue. He's just sort of taunting you like, he's like more infuriated because he's got his friend that you just murdered, or at least his companion of some sort. All right, so we are at the bottom of initiative. So you see Tatina open up that window again, and a device fires a dart filled with glowing green fluid at Finn, because you're the last one to go. Actually, you know what? We're going to roll. So there's 4 of you, so I'm going to roll a 4-sided dice. I'm just going to go straight south because you're all in a row. So it's going to go after 2 is Argent. So you see this green fluid filling globe flying at you. It's a +4 to hit.
What in the world?
Like,
Question: why wouldn't it hit any of the goblins?
because this is what I'm doing here. So it's an
Oh.
18 to hit,
That misses me.
and it just sort of bounces off this top of the hill right here and just sort of falls and rolls down the bottom of the hill. Ah! Jeez, I just hit a button. All right, so now we're at the top of initiative. Galbrand, you are up.
As Galibrand is finishing up his run, he takes his short bow and he puts it over his arm in the same action, sliding his hand down to pull out his short sword, and is going to then try and stab this goblin directly north of him.
Awesome.
Would a 12 hit?
No, a 12 would not. It doesn't
Well-
seem to be attacking you directly, but it's heard you coming and it just sort of stepped aside as you tried to lunge and grab it or
Be right back.
slice it. All right. And then, yeah, ultimately it just moves to the side of it.
All right. Then I'm using a free action to disengage. Because of
Is that
my
a feat or a feature or something?
yes.
Okay.
Because of my
Okay.
what's it called? Cunning action. I can disengage for free action. So I'm
Nice.
gonna go to there, and then I'm going to use the rest of my movement 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to appear right here.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
And that would be the end of my turn.
Okay. Next up is them. So, Ulrich, unfortunately, you are the closest one to this hobgoblin. He's training his bow on you. And let's see. The arrow comes right at you. You were anticipating it. He's in your line of sight, so you just sort of duck down as it flies over the top of your head. And now we're just going to go in volleys of these goblins. So this one's going to attack Ulrich. This arrow does, in fact, make connection. You take 5 piercing damage. This one is going to go for Arjun. Whoa! A natural 20. Smacks you. You take 10 damage from that.
Ugh.
He just takes his time, takes a deep breath, lets it go, and you weren't paying attention enough to him, and it just hits right into your chest.
Man.
This goblin is going to go after Finn. That's a complete miss. It's just... Oh, I hit the wrong button. Oh, the attack roll is the same, though. And then this one is going to go after... Well, Galibrand's right there. He'll go after Galibrand. 22, I think, is a hit. That's 5 damage. And now we're going to deal with the people in front of you.
So mean.
So these goblins shouldn't be attacking. So the goblin that you just tried to hit, Finn, is going to attack right back at you. With his scimitar. That's a 16 to hit, and that's 5 damage. This goblin's going to attack Arjun still. Only a 10. He misses. This one is going to slide in here and attack Ulrich with his friend. I rolled the wrong dice there. And that's a complete miss. And the second one that's right in front of you attacks you. Also, that's a 20. That's a hit, and that's 5 damage from his scimitar. As he cuts into you, you were busy dodging the other guy with your spear and sort of deflecting his attack, and this one just got you right under in the thigh or something.
Okay.
You guys are hearing just screaming coming from the top of the house. Get out of my property! Fight on your own! Go! Leave me alone! And Ulrich. Oh, wait. Yeah.
All
Ulrich.
right. So I am going to step away and move around the back of my party. And who's the most damage right now? Is that Finn or is that Galibrand?
Galibrand only is only missing 5 HP, so he's good.
Okay, so I'm gonna step over here and run around the back over here. And I'm gonna cast on Finn a...
Does this spell take an action?
Yes, it does.
Because you wouldn't be able to do it. Because disengaging is an action.
Oh, so actually just walking away from someone's an action.
Oh, no. Okay, you said disengage, which is the official, like, I move away
I'm
without it provoking an
walking away.
opportunity
I'm
attack.
sorry.
Okay, so then these two attack you for opportunity attack. The
Yep.
first one's a 16. The second one is a 14. And you are at 15, is that correct?
16 hits.
So that's 5
Yep.
damage.
Okay. I am down to 3.
Oh my gosh!
So you should probably heal yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the healer doesn't heal himself. What are you talking about?
Quite
Okay, so
selfless.
I am casting on Finn a Cure Light Wounds level 2. And that does 15 heal.
Nice!
Oh wow, that's exactly all the HP that I lost.
Just for the surge
Just
of
love-
energy.
Please give this warrior some of your healing gifts so that he continue fighting and bring balance.
Nice. All right, Arjun, you're up.
Yeah, I'm done.
You guys really need to start killing these things. I'm getting a sense of the Battle of High Hill all over again.
Well, it's not our fault you're so mean.
Arjun, what were you gonna do?
Oh yeah. We're gonna attack this goblin. Yeah.
The one,
was
the
looking
number
over-
2,
one?
the
The
one
one.
right in front of
I
you?
was looking. Yeah, the one right in front of me.
Gotcha.
Does a 17.
Yes, it does. Nice hit.
All right.
You finally, you're like seeing his movement patterns. You're like, "Wah!"
8 points of damage, sir.
How does he die?
I assume I just cut his head off.
You see, just roll around, and the other goblins are like, "Ah! Ah!" like all pissed off. Nicely done.
And then
That's how you do.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to bonus action. I'm going to go ahead and use Second Wind, and that is a D10 plus fighter level.
Nice. Come on,
Yeah.
Pen.
Okay, that brings me back up to 4.
Nice. Nicely done. All right, that was a good turn.
Yep, that'll be it for me.
All right, Finn, you are up.
Okay.
You got a goblin right in front of you.
Going to take care of this one and hopefully finish it off.
You can do it.
Does a 12 hit?
A 12 does not hit. It was just riposting everything that you were putting in his way. Are you going to use your second attack?
Yep. What are you? Does a 14 hit?
14 does not hit. He's just blocking everything that you're sending his way, just with renewed fervor from his 2 friends laying at his feet. You're gonna die! Do you have anything else you're gonna do?
Can't really do anything else.
Okay. Sorry, I was laughing at a comment the Graphite Dragon just made. So we're at the bottom of the round. You see that window pop open again. Let's see what comes out of it. The exact same thing as before, so I'm going to have it go at this goblin right here. You see it just fly out the window and just bounce and roll down that little hill at their feet and not actually hit anything. She just curses really loud and slams the door again. All right, we're back at the top. Galabrand, you're up, man.
Galabrand is taking a look around the battlefield and saying to his friends, let's try to take out as many of the little guys as possible. We should hit the guys to the north before hitting the big guy. Then he's going to start moving down to be right here in front. That won't cause an opportunity attack, will it?
Nope, you're good.
All right. So then as he's moving over there, he's also going to pull out a dagger in his other hand. And with his attack, he's going to hit the guy directly east of him.
Okay. You can do it, man.
Right? So, let's see. Oh, 22. Does that hit?
Yes, it does. What's the damage?
The damage is going to be 5.
Okay. Let's see. No, he wasn't hit yet. So, what weapon are you using, Ed?
I was using a short sword.
So you're like spinning around and you come down slashing at him. He does his best to bring it up, but it's just not fast enough, and you cut into his arm. He just yells out, "Ah!" You see blood like spurting out of the wound that you just created on his arm, and he's having a hard time moving it and lifting it.
And I can do a second attack with my offhand weapon.
Go ahead.
All right, then with the dagger in the other hand, does a 21 hit?
Yes, absolutely.
And that would be only 1 damage.
The first one was 5. Oh, okay. Yeah,
So he's
he's
still up?
he hurt. Yeah, you jabbed the dagger into his stomach. He's like, "Ah, ah!" He's still screaming. Blood is like coating his teeth and drooling out of his mouth. He does not look long for this world, but he is still alive and fighting. Well done.
All right, and that will be the end of my turn.
That was great. Okay, we're back at the top with the hobgoblin. Well, top. It's the hobgoblin's turn. The first person in the way is Galabrand. He's gonna try to get you with his short or longbow. 18. So that is 5 damage.
Hit.
I'm just gonna do the ranged people first here. This goblin's also gonna go after Galabrand. 14.
That hits me.
That's 5 damage, average hit. This one's going to go after Arjun. 12 is a miss for Arjun. We're going to see this goblin. Ulrich is right in front of him. He's going to go after Ulrich. An 18. So that's 5
Hits.
damage.
I'm down.
Man down. So everyone keep in mind, you got to bandage him so he doesn't have to, die. Just letting you know. Finn, the other 2 are going to take shots at you. Yeah, there's 2 of them. So the first one is a 23 and a 17. That's 5
Yikes.
damage each. They're just making you a pin cushion, just screaming, like raising their bros, shaking it. They're super stoked that they're just doing so well. Apparently, they can't get into the damn house, and so they're finally able to fulfill their bloodlust that they have right now. That is now it's the person in front of you, Finn. He attacks with his scimitar. That's a 10. It's a miss. And then these 2 goblins. So Arjun, this one's going to attack you. Actually, Galabrand, you almost killed him. So he's going to turn on you and try to get you. He's a 13. Is that a hit?
That actually misses.
Okay, he's hurting. He's bleeding so badly. He's doing his best to raise his arm and swipe at you, but you're easily just sort of
My sword's
swinging to the
still
side.
in his arm.
And then, this goblin, you're the only one in front of it, so he attacks you at 22. So that is 5 slash.
That hits.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's 5 slashing damage, yes.
Okay. I'm currently at 11 HP.
Okay.
So I can take 3 more
we have
hits.
Ulrich down, and Galabrand's wounded. Finn, you're hurt a bit. Arjun seems to be doing fine, and we are at Ulrich's turn.
Going to a death save?
Yes.
Death save.
Could
How do I?
Ulrich possess the boar?
Let's see.
Spirit just flows into the boar.
I got a 2.
Oh, sweet.
Oh.
Okay, you're
Wasn't a
bleeding
1
out.
at least.
You have to beat a 10 for a death save. So you are bleeding out actively. Arjun.
All right, I'm going to move to here. And then I'm going to tell this, hang on, this person is Finn. That's the one that's behind me.
Finn is directly north of you.
Yeah. I'm going to tell Finn, take care of Ulrich, and then I'm going to attack the goblin to the east.
Okay.
Right there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the pressure off of him.
Okay.
And then battle axe. That is an 18.
Yeah, you hit. What's the damage?
12.
You just come charging up. Finn, take care of Ulrich, and just cut down into him. How does he die?
I assume I cut his arm off and he just loses blood and dies that way.
You bring it down, cut his weapon arm off. He stands there just for a second, looks down at it, looks back at you, and eyes glaze over and drops down like a sack of potatoes. Blood is just oozing out into the ground, leaching down into the cobblestones. Well done.
That's it for my turn.
Finn.
I'm going to put my 2 melee weapons away, and I am going to turn around and get in between him and the archers, and it's rolling a medicine check, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Go! That's
Let's see.
a nat 1.
Okay. All right.
Does that mean I die faster?
Yeah, that means he actually punches you in the face while he's trying to mend your leg. It's like the old movies from 50s and 40s when a woman's hysterical, a guy just smacks her. That's what he does to you. It's like, get a hold of yourself, Ulrich! Smack! Yeah, sorry, that is unsuccessful at mending his bleeding. That sucks. Okay, Galibrand, you are up.
Galibrand, seeing how the fight is going to look at him. He's going to look at. Is it Arjun here?
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
Arjun, just say, "We need to get out of here," and he's going to do a disengage action for his. Sorry, free action to go here. He's going to move over and do a heal action on
Ulrich.
Crap, I can't remember his name.
Ulrich. Yeah, nice.
Ulrich. All right, let's see if I can do anything.
You got this, man. Come on.
I got an 11.
An 11? That's good enough.
11. Yeah.
You bandage it up. Your bleeding is stopped, but you're still under.
Okay.
Nicely done.
I'm just going to ask you, could I try to put him on the boar? Or would I have to wait till next turn?
Yeah, that would be much more of a full action. I'm not sure the boar would let you put a dead person on it. It's not a pack animal.
I don't care what the boar thinks.
Yeah, you may in a minute. But yeah, I mean, you can try to.
You may, depending on its reaction.
All right, it is their turn,
Calvin is
however.
active. Yep.
So Arjun, what is your distance here? That's fine. So the hobgoblin trains its bow on you, Arjun, and looses a long black arrow. 16. Is that your armor class?
No, my armor class is 19.
All right, it flies right by you, Arjun. Galibrand, you see it fly over your head as you're just screaming coming from the hobgoblin. Get them! Get them! They're almost down! Finish it! This goblin attacks you, Arjun, with his scimitar. Did I not hit the button? Oh, shit, a natural 20. So that is 10 damage.
Ow.
He just brings it up, cuts you on the side. As you lean down from the bow, you went right into his scimitar. This goblin steps into you right here, and he's going to use a scimitar on you. Why is this? There he is. 10 is a miss. So you were conscious enough to parry off his attack. These goblins are tired of the bows. So 5, 10, 15. He comes in to attack you with his scimitar, screaming as he runs down the hill. How is that even possible? Oh, natural 1. So yeah, he comes screaming down the hill, and he actually tumbles down onto the ground, and he's prone right in front of you. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. He's going to come to the top. Since he can't get to you and attack, he's just going to hit you with his arrow, or he's going to try to hit you with the arrow. Let's see, scimitar, or I mean, short bow is 22 to hit. That's 5 damage.
Ow.
Finn, 5, 10, 15, 20, 5, 10, 15, 5, 10. They move to that ridge line, and they're all just going to take shots at you with their short bows. The first one is a 20 to hit, not natural. The second one, his bowstring breaks on him, and he just starts screaming, all pissed off. The last one is a 14. So does a 14 hit?
No.
So you take 5 damage from that first hit. Just the arrows come in. Ting! And screaming. Ulrich, you are up. Oh,
I'm up.
You're not
I
up.
thought it was 0 hit point.
You're down. Arjun, you're up.
Do you want me to roll?
No.
You want me to roll again
All
or
right,
something?
well, all right, well, I'm going to take a swing at this goblin in particular.
You got it. You can do it.
Let's do this.
Now he's prone.
Oh, that's a 10. We're going to do precision attack once again. That's an 18 total.
That hits. That hits hard. What's your damage? How does he die?
7 points of damage.
Yeah,
I'm wielding an axe, so probably just straight into his cranium.
It just comes straight down. It takes you a second to pull it out because the suction of the skull has it like tight in. You yank it out. The top half of his head busts open and brains spill out as you bring your battle axe back up off him. And these other goblins staring down at him for a second are just like, that clear terror at the horror of it in their faces. Is there anything else you got?
Yeah. We're going to do rally, and we're going to give Finn, because Finn just took an arrow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna do rally,
Arrows are
and
flying
as a
everywhere.
bonus action, and Finn's gonna get 8 temporary hit points as I look over to him, and just yell at him, "The fight's not over yet."
Oh, nice. You feel this renewed sense of strength in the battle, Finn, just from this courageous speech. Inspiring. And that puts it on you, Finn. What do you got?
So I am going to... Sorry, I'm getting a lot of notifications here. I'm going to take a shot at the little shithead that decided to shoot an arrow at me.
So this first one's the one that hit.
Ooh, does a 12 hit?
A 12 does not. So you like bring the bow up, loose the arrow, and he just ducks down and it says, yelling at you, making dirty gestures at you. You have a move if you wanted to use it, or you can just stay there.
I'll stay there.
Okay. So we're at 0. So once again, that door opens at the top. You guys see, she opens the door. She's like, "I got one for you. You're going to love this." And throws out what looks to be a chicken. And as it's flying, like, flipping through the air, you see its like wings open up, and out of its butt, these eggs start shooting out of it like a Gatling gun. And it's firing off at this goblin right here. So let's see if it hits.
That sounds horrible.
So these little eggs shooting out of it, it's all... It completely misses everything. It just strafes the entire area, and the chicken lands on the ground, the little mechanical chicken. And it still acts like it's a real chicken, just starts pecking.
This is some stuff out of the Hook movie, man.
Yeah, it kind of does, huh? That's funny. They stole it. They stole this from Hook. Okay, so next up is Galibrand.
Galibrand is going to look at Finn. Finn, get Ulrich on the pig and get out of here. We need to retreat. And then he's going to move over here to be just next to Arjun.
Mm-hmm.
And which of these two goblins is the goblin I haven't hit yet?
This one does not look... You hit this one. You have not hit this one.
Okay, so that one's the one I hit last time.
They both
The
have
one
taken
directly...
damage.
Okay, but I know I did a lot of damage to the one I had hit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to use my main weapon, my short sword, to attack the one south of Arjun.
Okay.
Does a 21 hit.
Yes, it do.
All right, and short sword, 7 damage.
How does it die?
As it's about to scream, I stab it in the throat and quickly pull out my short sword. And then using the same momentum of taking my sword out, I'm going to do a second attack with my dagger on the goblin south of me.
Nice.
Does a 23 hit.
Yes, it does.
All right. 2 damage.
How does it die?
As I'm swinging around, I stab the knife into its head. Quick and...
The weight of it pulls itself off of your dagger as it drops down to the ground.
All right. And then Galibrand, can he still move? like use the
You
remainder of
can,
his
yeah,
movement?
yes.
Galibrand is going to start retreating.
Oh, you're gonna move off the map?
Yeah. Galibrand is going to look towards his allies and say, "It's not worth dying just yet. Get out of here." And then he starts running.
Yeah. Okay. On this next initiative, you see the remaining goblins sort of slack-jawed at what just happened and the brutality of everything just happened, and they turn tail and run. So he fully moves this full distance away as fast as possible. As fast as they can. And the hobgoblin down here is yelling, "Don't run, cowards! How dare!" And he's like looking around, "I'm out of here!" And he starts running away as well. So if you're not going to try to chase them down, the battle is over. It's up to you.
We got a wounded person here, so no reason to try and chase him down, yeah.
Okay. So the door opens. Thanks for the help, but who are you guys?
We're here from the city.
Can you move Galibrand back onto the
let me
map? I can't reach him where he is.
I can't either, actually. It doesn't matter. We're not using this map anymore, so we'll move back.
Okay.
There. What city's that?
What was the one where we just came from?
Kalaman.
We came on a mission from Kalaman. We're here to see a Tatina, was it?
My name's Tatina. I'm Tatina Rugeldust. What are you doing here for? What do you need from me? And she's still like sort of creaking through the window.
We're here to talk to you on a mission from the city. Can we come in?
It's like, wait down there! Slams the door. You hear like clang, 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 like rustle, 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 like all sorts of banging and clomping and everything. Then the front door opens and she stands out there, and she's just this cute little gnome lady. And she comes over. She starts picking everything up. She runs over to the chicken that's walking away. She picks up the mechanical chicken and she's like gathering her stuff and moving it back into the house. She's like, "All right, talk while I'm cleaning this up. Otherwise, you can go away."
We came from Vogler after it was attacked by a large army. They were using a machine that looked like a dragon, but it was mechanical in nature. The city was hoping that you might have some insight on that.
Yes, I'm afraid that sounds very much like a weed clearing device that I had modified for this gentleman who came by. He was in red and black armor. He looked nice enough, and I thought it was a really good deal. And I'd never made a dragon-looking weed clearing device before, and I thought it was great. I can't believe it was used in such a way. That's really sad. I feel kind of bad about that, even though I had nothing to do with it other than inventing it. But it was a really good invention, and you should try it out yourself if you have a lot of weeds. I have a lot of weeds around me before, but you can see how it's nice and cleared out now. It's because of that weed clearing device.
So you invented this this particular device. It looks like a dragon. It spits fire like a dragon. It's on wheels.
That does sound like the device that I made, yes, but I can't promise that that's the exact one, though I can't imagine anyone else would be making any kind of mechanical devices like that, especially looking like a dragon. But it is supposed to be used for weed clearing, not for killing people. That's a totally different application. I wonder if I could have modified it to better kill people. I don't want to kill anyone. I think that's a bad thing, but on the off chance that you're the good guys fighting the bad guys, then changing it up, I think I could probably change the fire blasting mechanisms into being a little bit more projectile.
Well, that same device is going to be used on the city up north soon, and the city would like to engage in your services as an advisor so that they might know a good way of combating such a device, because it will be used to try and kill innocent people. Because the bad guys are using it, and we're the good guys. And the good guys are asking you to help us try to stop them from using this device to kill good guys. Does that make sense?
She walks over and she picks up that like globe with that needle with the green in it. She's like, "If you're really a good guy, then you're gonna let me stick this in your leg and see what happens."
Okay.
Galibrand immediately goes over to them, and seeing that his friend's about to get stabbed, he's going to say, "So from the sound of it, you're a businesswoman, so let's go ahead and make a business transaction, okay? We would like to hire your services to know about this machine. If you do this, you will probably be paid by the people who want to know. So, instead of stabbing someone, why don't we talk about this like rational people?"
this is really just to make sure the invention works. She stabs in your leg, the green, like...
Into my
Other
leg?
than the tiny little prick, nothing actually happens. And she pulls it out. She looks like, that's what I was afraid of. Well, at least I know. She throws it behind her. She's like, you don't have to pay me. I'm happy to go help. I don't want people to be hurt from my weed clearing device. That's a terrible thing to happen. And of course, I would be happy to try to resolve any problem and make sure it never hurt anyone
Then
again.
come along.
It's like, hold on, I got something for you guys. She runs into the house. She's bang, clang, yelling and muttering. She comes back out with these crazy looking devices. Let me show you this thing. She comes out with 2 of these. She says, this is a Fargab. And she like holds one up and pushes it over on you, toward you, Galibrand. And then the other one she lifts up and puts it over near you, Arjun. And she's like, go ahead, talk into it. You should probably step back away there when the other person talks into it, though, because the whole point is it's called a Fargab because you can talk from afar. You can gab from far away. Go ahead and give it a shot.
Hello.
No.
And Galibrand, you like refusing, but you hear his voice come through this little speaker device that's attached to the big backpack thing. The Fargab.
Galibrand is still coming down from adrenaline, so he honestly isn't paying attention to that. This sounds perfectly reasonable in a different situation. So here's what I'm going to ask of you: will you come with us or not? Because if not, we are leaving. We almost died getting here.
She looks at you guys. She's like, he doesn't listen very well, does he? You should probably put that up to your ear. I just told you I'd be happy to come and help you. I'm giving you a gift for helping me with the goblins.
Go.
Well, he doesn't have to take the gift. Does anyone else want the gift?
Yes, I'm taking both of these.
Okay, they're a little bit heavy, but you're capable. You're a big, strong fighter. You lift them up on your back. This is, and I want to impress just the sheer gravity of these devices. Nothing like this has ever existed before. Period.
Oh yeah, Arjun already sees it's like, oh, this has battlefield applications.
Yeah.
We're taking these.
Oh yeah, yeah, big deal.
Galibrand is severely bloodied, so he isn't thinking rationally.
Hang on, are we talking modern radio? Are we talking Vietnam radio? Wait, are we talking or are we talking something different here?
Effectively, it's like a World War I type, radio.
Okay, so these are heavy. These are heavy.
Oh yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
They're big, bulky, and heavy, but she explains to you throughout the course of this that you can talk up to 13 miles away with each other, and it still communicates. And she says it operates through something called Airstream Gab technology that hasn't really been patented yet, but she has a committee looking into it. So she goes back to the house, locks it all up, comes back out, puts on a little backpack of her own. She's like, I'm ready.
Galibrand goes over to Finn. Finn, so we don't have to carry Ulrich all the way back, let's put him on your pig and hopefully have a smoother journey for him.
First of all, it's a boar, not a pig. Second off,
I don't care. Let's just get Ulrich off the ground.
I mean,
what if I want you to carry him?
Okay, so there's a couple things.
Because
You guys
I'll
can
immediately
heal him, right?
collapse.
Like,
I
can't...
mean, I don't have any. I can do like a medicine check, but I'm not very.
Oh,
good
wait,
at it. Galibrand-
I have a potion that the knights gave me.
Yes, you do.
Oh. I'm gonna use that on him.
Okay, do you remember what the stats were on it?
It was 2d4, if memory serves me right.
I'd have to look it up. But that's why it's important you write it down. So I have to look it up. So go ahead and roll 2d4. Poor Galibrand, you're all like, come on!
That is a 5.
All right, you get 5 hit points, Orc.
Oh, what was that?
Finally.
It might have been my chicken. Did you get hit with an egg?
Egg? Chicken? I don't know what you mean.
Well, they're
no, you
little
got hit by
animals that
arrows.
balk and eat grains off the ground. They're really like ancient dinosaurs, if you really want to talk about ancient history, but I don't know how they turned into little tiny flying creatures.
What by the gods is a dinosaur?
Let's not. Let's not.
And she's like, all right, well, let's go. Stop standing around jibber-jabbing. Let's get moving.
Yes. Let's listen to her.
What happened?
All right, guys.
Who's this?
My name is...
This is the person.
This is the person we're sent to get.
I get it. I just was throwing that in.
So,
No.
we have less than an hour left. There's no way we're going to complete a Warriors of Krynn board game episode, which was my plan to do next. And any other encounters are going to take well over the 4-hour mark. So you guys get back to Kalaman with no issue at all. You don't see the Kender anywhere. You don't see any other dragons, and there's no flying mechanical chickens shooting eggs out of their butts either. You get up to the palace, and Tatina's just sort of looking around. She's like, this is such a beautiful place. I really wish I lived closer, but unfortunately, you must understand if I did live closer, people would probably get hit by stray eggs or, stray little spiked balls with green liquid in them or any of my other devices that I can be quite assured do generally work. I mean, that Fargab is the best invention I've ever made, and it works perfectly flawlessly. It's the best thing ever. But it's not sliced bread, so I don't know how good it can actually possibly be, but I bet if I modified sliced bread a little bit, I could even improve on that.
Maybe you should modify your accuracy, because you only seem to be shooting at us.
She's like, I thought you were bad guys too. You almost kind of look like a goblin, like taller and less goblin-y. But other than that, you look exactly like a goblin.
So why were you shooting at the guys the goblins were trying to kill?
Well, they were trying to kill me. I figured
so
maybe you
kill
guys
them.
were fighting over trying to fight for me.
Galabrand, I think
Well,
we should be
I
grateful
mean-
for
You
her
guys
help.
go ahead and deal with this. I'm going.
they're not wrong. Just in a
We're
different
gonna
sense.
take. We're gonna take her up to the council chambers where she's being expected.
Okay. Yeah, so she walks in and now I have to think of names again. It's all wiped in my brain. Marshal Nestri, Vendry, thanks you all. I really do appreciate you delivering to Tina here. I would like to speak with her in private, and you're free to continue about your day. Maybe go get some food and rest up. It looks like you're wounded, so perhaps you might want to visit our apothecary and take care of any wounds that you might have suffered.
That sounds like a great idea.
Okay. And that is going to do it for this episode, everyone. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, players, for making this such an entertaining session and kind of crazy, too. You don't really have a choice about the craziness of the world around you, but how you engage with it makes it very much fun. So I do genuinely appreciate that. For those of you watching live, really appreciate your guys' time and attention and spending your Saturday with us. Thank you very much. But that is going to do it for this 4th episode of the Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition DragonLance Shadow of the Dragon Queen live play session. I'd like to thank the players once again for joining me and making this an entertaining session. What do you all watching think about this adventure thus far? Feel free to email me at info@dlsaga.com or leave a comment below. Before we go, I would like to suggest that you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not already subscribed. Ring that stupid bell to get notified about upcoming videos, and click the damned like button, because all of that goes to help other Dragonlance fans learn about this channel and its content. This channel is all about celebrating the wonderful world of the Dragonlance Saga. Thank you so much for joining. Until next time, Slan Javar.